It's time to force myself to work again. So that I am not one lazy piece of potato. Alright, I am here. Afternoon. It's 2:40 p.m. at my place. There is going to be a Arknights JP live stream in about 4 hours from now. So I'm gonna use this downtime before that particular live stream happened to actually film videos. And today in particular, it's an Enfield special, meaning I'm going to film a lot of Enfield stuff. I actually have 4 videos in mind as to like that sounds like a lot, but yeah, I have 4 videos of Enfield stuff that I wanted to produce. And they're all kind of bantery in nature. So I'm gonna see how many can I pull off in one go. All right. Anyways, welcome. This is a productivity stream. You're not. I mean, you can be here to be entertained if you take joy in seeing someone suffer at work. But then again, you guys are probably also suffering at work. Whether at school or at your company or working from home, whichever it is. So, yeah, I will be your comfort, your joy for this time, I suppose. Okay. Um, let me change up certain things here. All right. Did I play Rossi storyline yesterday? I did. I finished it already. Okay. Let me just push all these videos backwards because I'm definitely not fulfilling them in time. Um, let's see. Yeah. Okay. I want to film a video that's called "You Don't." Um, what's a smart video title? Enfield's Grind. Should I? Should I make? Should this be the title? Arknight's Enfield is the grindiest gacha game. Should this be the title? But it's quotation mark. Nah? You want to recommend a title? No, you guys are saying nah to the title, but as in like you're saying that the title is bad, or like you're saying you don't agree with the title. It's a bit dramatic, I know. The whole point of this video is to debunk that Enfield is really not grindy at all. Could be better. You want to have recommendations? It could be clickbait. I mean, this is definitely over the top clickbait lah, but like I'm for it if people are for it. I want to make it a question. It's not a research. I'm trying to debunk like the no, I don't like the is Arknights Endfield the grindiest gacha. No, but it's kind of like I I the purpose of the title of the video is I want to target the sentiment that people have. Because there are people out there calling Enfield the worst game. Of course, for multiple reasons. The one reason that I want to target in the video is the reason that people are saying that the grind in the game is very bad. So like Arknight's Enfield has the worst. Is worst. Like I know people are gonna hate the title. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, Cookie is all out." But like, I'm literally gonna start the video by saying, like, that's what people are saying. But if you play the game for long, it's not true. You think the sentiment is fading away? The sentiment completely faded away from me. Like 2 months, I'm gonna use this video to really like make sense for people that Enfield literally has no grind. If you're grinding in the game, you self-inflicted it. Like Enfield has the reverse problem. It's not that Enfield is grindy. It's Enfield has nothing to do. I'm quite okay with the title though. Just like this. Do I need to do a quotation mark? Or can I leave it alone? Arknight's Enfield is the grindiest game. No, you can't say that. Arknight's Enfield is not the grindiest game. Meet Destiny 2. Or should I like it's a dumb title. Arknight's Enfield is not the grindiest gacha game. Like that? Like this? I can do it like this. Okay, title fixed. I want to do a video on. I want to do a second video, which is a different thing. Cannot always please you. Viewers. Okay, if you guys are wondering what this video is about, there's three things that I want to target in this video. One, the main point of this video is when people watch my reviews for Enfield and whatnot, there's a lot of people who say that I'm being too harsh to Enfield. I'm not being fair. And like I'm trying to make Enfield the game that I want. But that's not the point. I wanna there's three things that I want to target in the video. So I think the first is that people say that um uh I uh Enfield is a new game, therefore was not launched. Or other gacha games also don't have much going on in the first year or two. Therefore, I'm being too harsh at the game. Okay, this is the first common sentiment that I see. Yeah. And then afterwards there's another sentiment which is like um uh let me write this down first. I changed my mind about Enfield from supporting the game to now being negative towards it. Therefore, right. This is said a lot in my videos, which people need to understand. Like what I want to clarify in this video is that I had nothing wrong with the front of the game. Like, I think the combat is fine. I think the gacha system is fine. I think the factory is fine. Like, all the core gameplay that this game has is all good to me. My biggest concern is not like changing the combat to a slower pace combat or trying to make things more complicated. Like, for example, making deliveries more complicated, maybe, or um, or trying to make factory very hard from the very beginning. All those things aren't the things that necessarily help the game. To me, at least, it wouldn't. The thing that will help to differentiate Enfield in a live service aspect is the replayability of the game. Are we defending or roasting the game? For what? This video? No, I don't think I'm defending or roasting the game. I am potentially targeting at the. Like, nothing against viewers. It's almost as if I'm roasting the viewers instead. Because people tend to think, like, there are some people who think that I'm a very flip flop person when it comes to Enfield. And then it's also because they only selectively watch, like, specific videos. What language do I speak? I speak English, Chinese. I can understand Japanese. I speak Hokkien. Yeah. Like, the whole point of this video is to, like, when people say that I don't think well of Enfield, I don't want Enfield to succeed, it's like they watch my negative review and then afterwards don't watch the other stuff. And then when people only watch the positive stuff, they say that I'm being toxic positivity. Then I'm just there like, what the frick you want me to do? I just scope my videos to fit the context of that video. Like I'm gonna tell, like, I guess the fault or the learning lesson for me is perhaps I should make a more complete video, like a balanced video. But it's like when people say that I'm being too harsh or I'm being too nice, I'm just there like, what the fuck you want me to do? It's not my fault you don't watch the other side of the video. So yeah, this video isn't to roast the game. This video is almost to roast the viewers. And if viewers feel targeted by it, I kind of don't give a damn. It's also almost like I know that certain viewers, when they see this, they'll be like, you know what, sorry bro. Like that I was one of these guys who did it to you. You know. But like, I just want to make it clear that at the end of the day, whatever I do for Enfield is because there's a part of me that just says, I think Hypergriff can be a really good company. Like, if you look at their way of treating AK thus far, in the current times of AK, even after Endfield has released, the current updates that AK have received are still really good. Right? Stronghold Protocol, they get revamped. And then afterwards, they are still receiving cool characters, even beyond Endfield. They are still receiving good. They're kind of redefining a bit of the storytelling, I would say, because quite interesting that we have 3 recent chapters where the main characters are almost, how do I describe this? Same gendered pairing. That's what people might call it. Which is a little bit unusual in the form of a gacha game. But like, I make all these stuff in a sense that I know that Hypergrid can deliver quality. Oh yeah, and then the whole thing about like me bringing up Arknights. I think this is the 3 main points that I wanted to say. Let's say AK didn't exist, would I still give Enfield a try? The premise of Enfield is very interesting. Amongst all the 3D gacha, I think it's very difficult to tell, because if there was no AK, I don't know if I would have played Enfield. That's true. Because in the first place, I never really liked the 3D game medium of a live service game. I think it's very demanding to play a 3D live service game. But Enfield has proven itself to me that it's the least demanding of all, which makes me appreciate it. Like, you really don't take a lot of time to play in a day. You don't even need to spend your sanity every day. You can spend your sanity every 2 days. You can collect your materials every 4 days. And even then, I don't even need to. I've reached the point that I don't need to collect materials anymore. If you all have been playing Enfield daily and you've been diligently collecting all the rare mushrooms and stuff, you will come to realize that you have too much. You have more than enough to feed to all your characters. All 25 characters currently in the game. If you collected your materials every single day. That means what I'm saying is right now you're overcapping. And I think that's a good thing. That it means that I can stress less. And the RNG part of Enfield, like the whole essence farming thing, it's so easy. Like, I appreciate it more than relic farming. I mean, the reason why I cannot stand to play the other games is I don't like their relic farming nonsense. It doesn't make me feel good. I feel trash every time I roll into a stat that doesn't help. But at least Enfield is like, oh, you get trash essence. At least you can use the essence to feed the other essence. And then there's big joy when you get the perfect essence. Like, it's so much faster to get the perfect essence. Yeah, gear artificing also is like, you don't roll stats. You just roll the power up. So if you fail, it's not like you reset your progress. You continue to upgrade it. So like, those 2 things makes me very appreciative of Enfield. That makes me stay in the game. Like, the building of characters, for me, is very satisfying. Let me confirm. But what should this video title be? If this is the premise. That this is a very arrow at Enfield viewers. Again, it's nothing to do with the game. The title seems fine. Really. This is a very candid video title. Title should do a jab. What about Enfield players or AK players who play Enfield? Can be both. It looks like a drama title to you. If people think this is drama, then so be it. It's not like I'm picking a fight with the content creators. And I'm not like picking a fight with the viewers in a sense. Like, I don't blame the viewers for not watching all my videos, and I don't blame the viewers for misunderstanding me. Like, if people listen through this video, the point of this video is I want to clarify what I've been doing, and then I don't think it's the viewer's fault because at the end of the day, I produce the videos, and I do reflect upon this to think how should I do better in the future. Like, I don't think people need to understand that. I don't think people need to take this video as I'm blaming you. Like, on one hand, I guess I will start off by saying, fuck you for not understanding me. But on the other hand, fuck me because that's my job. Like, I really cannot blame the most casual of viewers for misunderstanding me. Like, if they misunderstood me, that means I'm not doing my job. Like, I hope people can understand this video. Like, it's not like a straight up like, yeah. Enfield, we need to talk. Is it? Enfield, we need to talk. No, but it's not really to the game. That sounds like I'm talking to the game, but no, I'm talking to the players. These are like Sintunta's titles. I mean, the titles are like this because these videos are more ventory. It's not like a very structured documentary stuff that I'm making. Do we need to compare to CN and JP and why they love the game? I don't know enough to make a topic on that. You saw a sentiment in my 1.0 video that I wanted a lot of things in AKE from AK just because I'm the OG. The argument is Enfield is not AK, it's wrong to compare them. But for you, it looks like Hypergriff did not use their experience for AKE and started from zero. Yeah, I agree. As in, because, like, first impression always matters, I feel, for a game. And AKE could have taken the experience that they gained from AK to understand what are the key things that have kept people playing the game, right? And by doing so, this will allow the launch to be very powerful. Like, I think the 1.0 review patch is the only time that you're gonna hear me talk about AK all that much. Unless, like, Enfield has stories that ties together with AK, then maybe I'll bring it up again. But like in this video, I think people will also hear me saying that I don't really want to bring up Arknights anymore. The only reason why I bring up Arknights from the very beginning is because it's the perfect opportunity to learn from AK. And because they showed that they can't, then it's just gonna be like any plain old 3D gacha game. That the timeline and the way that they do things is just the same. Which makes it less impressive. Like. Too bad. They could have done something. So now that I'm past that, I have no reason to bring up Arknights anymore. Now I'm like from patch to patch now, I'm just reviewing Enfield for what it is really. So I feel like that's something that people will have to understand from here. Like I'm not just trying to make Enfield another Arknights. It's more like it's not to like when people say that I'm trying to make Enfield Arknights, it doesn't mean to copy Arknights. It's just learning the design principles of Arknights when creating this game. Like in terms of the story direction, in terms of the gameplay side of things, right? We're not talking about making another IS. We're talking about creating a good replayable mode that keeps people trapped in the game after they've spent their sanity. Enfield doesn't do that. Like people are very like this is the part where I'm like, I don't know, literacy is a bit dead that people don't understand that this is what I'm trying to say in my videos. And people just equate it to I'm trying to make Enfield Arknights, but it doesn't mean that. Like if you take the time to digest my statement, it's just replayable game mode, good. Evidence, Arknights. Therefore, Enfield should do replayable game mode. I could even just not quote Arknights. I could quote every other gacha game that has done a good replayable game mode, and Enfield could have done the same. You know what I mean? So okay, I'll come back to this. I need a 1.1 review patch, which I think the title of the video is Can I just make okay wait, is this a good title? Patch 1.1 restores no. I need this title to be snappier. If you're wondering what was on my mind, patch 1.1 restores some faith for NT players. It's a terrible title. But I want it to be along the same line. Because another way I could have said is it's a step up. But the step up also sounds very big, which is not true. Patch 1.1. A light spark in darkness. Oh! Oh! Banger title! How's this? Actually, this seems not bad. How's this? How's this? How's this? How's this? I think patch 1.1 had good highs. And I think patch 1.1 had very low lows. And I think this video will be very balanced. Like I will talk about I'm going to talk about everything that happened in 1.1, from the main story to the semi Tang Tang character quest to the side quests, and then afterwards into the shit cleaning, Umbral Monument, and we'll probably close it out on the survival game mode, which it hasn't released yet. It's gonna release in 2 days, I think. Sounds good. How's the third Umbral? I loved it. I saw a lot of people hate it, like super hate it as well. Actually, third Umbral is my favorite. And then there's one more Enfield video that I wanted to make. Wait, let me think about this. Oh, the interview. The Enfield interview. I haven't read it yet. Okay, can someone send me the interview? I might live react to it now. And then we turn it into a video. I don't know where this interview is. Wait, is it Games Radar that did the interview? Is it long? It seems quite short, leh. Is it this? Is this the article that people are pointing out? Or is it something else? There's like three. There's three interviews. Okay, then can I get the timeline of like everything, and then maybe we see them. We take the time to see them one by one, maybe. Is one interview separated to three? Really? Yeah. Is this the other one? No leh. It'll be so funny if I start the video by saying this. Don't clip me. You can clip me. Okay, send to Games Radar. But it'll be very funny if I start the video by saying Games Radar is farming this interview more than Saint Tontas have farmed Enfield in the span of one day. Should we read all three? And then if I have a good reading time and I have a good talking time, I will make it a video. Should I cover the article? Or am I in a good position? Can you zoom? Oh, you can zoom quite far. Perhaps I can be. Perhaps I can be on the side. Oh, there's something. How come some of these go into dark mode and some cannot? Is my dark mode on? No. Bro, this article stuff is weird. Whatever that's spawning on the side of me. I just do this. Like I'm huge. I could do it like this. Then at least I cover the article. Not full cover though. Be good if I can be a bit consistent with where I sit. Well, I look very big for the video. Am I covering the contents? No. Hello. Can we try? Yeah, I did my best to cover like all the other nonsense. It's decent, right? No. Oh, what am I doing? For some reason, I cannot control tab to the next article. It doesn't. Why? Bro, this article in particular is bugged. What? Seriously, it's bugged. Oh, I can't out tab. Okay. Well, I guess that forces me to talk about the gacha last. Quite similar to the review that I did recently. Okay lah. Okay, ready for a read along, everyone? We we do a read along of the interview. A bit late, but I'm too harsh on Hypergrade being the first breakthrough on the 3D developing. No, I don't think I'm harsh. I'm not the one who's trying to be harsh. If people need to understand that there's a difference between I don't think the game is doing well and I think a lot of people don't think the game is doing well. I'm not important here. When I become harsh against Enfield, it's I don't take it personally. Like I'm not trying to put forth my personal opinion and say like, oh, this game sucks, and like I think they need to revamp a lot of things and all that kind of stuff. Like a lot of times when I say certain things, I revamp it because sorry, I say my opinions on the line of seeing how a lot of people are feeling to the game currently. Like I people sort of need to understand that I don't think like no matter my status as a content creator, I don't really think of myself that highly. Like I don't think I'm a big shot or anything, and that I can make change and whatever. At the end of the day, I'm still a player, and I always see myself as that. It's just I'm a player who conveniently has a slightly louder voice than other people do. And what do I do with that louder voice? I try to make sense of the voices that are going around in the community. Like that's how I feel about my own position. Like I can say my personal opinions, but I never really take my personal opinion as the means to say they should change because of me. It should always be they should change if a lot of people don't like something. Like there's a reason why I get very upset when, like, for example, like the big reason why I've always not liked Tobo's video is because Tobo's video is not objective. Like a lot of people see of Tobo's videos as constructive criticism, but I don't think it's constructive per se. I think it's personal criticism rather. And then because when it's a subjective criticism, if you as a viewer happen to have the same subjective criticism as him, you think that it's constructive, but it's not because you like it because you think it panders only to you, and you will be happy because it pandered to you. But I'm not. I get very dissatisfied by those kind of things because it shouldn't always be about just a small subset of people. Whenever you do something game wide, community wide, you should, like, there will always be unhappy people, and your decision making should always be like, I don't know why people always think it's wrong that companies need to appeal to the major proportion of players. Like Tobo has a stance that he hates the casual gameplay of this game, but at the end of the day, casuals are the biggest proportion of a game. So like, you should always make your comments like, while you want niche gameplay, while you want harder gameplay, you need to know how to advise that while making sure that the casuals never fall behind. Like I'm on the stance also that things need to be more complicated, things need to be harder. But the reason why it works in AK is because difficulty is optional. You choose difficulty. You're not forced to play difficulty. Whereas a lot of Tobo's suggestions is about trying to scope it down and be comfortable with the fact that the game can live with a smaller player base. And I think that's just being unfair to the company. Like, it just doesn't work. It's a very expensive game. They need to make decisions that make sure that a lot of people are playing the game. So a lot of the things that he wants changes for has zero care to Hypergriff, in my opinion. It's like a bit of a, like, I'm no game company myself, although I have worked for one before. But I do feel that a lot of his comments are very, like, misinformed a little bit, in the sense that he doesn't understand the position of a game dev when he says things about the game. But yeah, that's that. Okay, I'll put you guys here. Let's read this. Want to the toilet or anything? If I do, I'll probably run to the toilet after I'm done reading this interview. Most of the things that he criticized were added in 1.1, which makes it extra funny. Were they? No, I don't think so. What did he criticize that was added in 1.1? I don't think so. As long as the devs don't let the majority sway things like narrative direction. Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's jump in, shall we? You guys can say hi YouTube. I don't know if this will be a YouTube video, but I hope I have a good reading time and people can see my reaction to the interview because it was such a hot topic. Hey, I am going to start recording. Okay. Hello. We're gonna do a bit of a read along of this interview. This was kind of up on Twitter and Reddit, and people were sharing around on Discord forums as well. This Games Radar interview that was done with one of the lead devs. I'm not sure who it is. We're gonna find out as we read it. They don't just have one article. They have three different articles that we're gonna read, and it's interesting because they do the YouTube strat of just farming as much articles as possible. I wonder which YouTuber they learned it from. But anyways, we're gonna start with the first article that I put in line. Okay, the title says, "When we are going to make an open world RPG, it's better played on high-end PCs." Agnes Enfield Lead says it's a good thing that the player base of high-end PC gaming is increasing. This is a pretty strange title, but okay, sure. PC gaming is becoming increasingly important for games coming out of Asia, especially. Okay, the rise of games like Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, and now Agnes Enfield has seen gacha game developers venture into more conventional core platforms, current-gen consoles, and gaming PCs, with larger and more complex games better suited to this audience. I'm a bit confused by, well, this is not the devs writing this. I think this is the reporter writing this. But like, I think PC gaming has always been a big thing though. And I think it's kind of on par with mobile gaming. They all grow in its own way. People nowadays have just a little bit more budget to afford themselves even a low-end PC to be able to play such games. So, okay. In particular, many developers from countries like Japan and China have said, and some have told me in previous interviews, that they see PC gaming as an increasingly important platform. Has it not always been an important platform? I don't know what this reporter is saying. I don't think anything has changed. But okay, this also goes for a company like Capcom. Agnes Enfield, lead Ryan of developer Hypergrave, is of a similar opinion, as he tells me at GDC. Who's Ryan? Wait, who's this? Can you appear on the incoming patch 1.2 live stream? Maybe we'll get to learn who you are. Okay, I'm just gonna believe he's a real person. I think the player base of high-end PC gaming is increasing, as it always has been. I feel like, this article is so strange. Like, you know how people say you should invest in gold because gold is like the most secure thing that will always increase over time to combat inflation? Like, I think when you say that high-end PC gaming is falling, that's always a concern. But when you say lines like this, hasn't it been that way since the release of PC? But okay. Maybe it's because they're trying to say that when mobile first hit the market, it took a little bit of a hit on PC gaming. But I don't think that's necessarily true because a lot of the people first afforded a phone before a PC. And that's why mobile gaming was on the rise. But then now I guess both is on the rise because people realize they need both things to do their job, that kind of stuff. And we also find when we are going to make an open world RPG, it's better played on high-end PCs. Even better than on consoles. Because the graphics can be very good. I mean, you're talking about RTX 50, you're talking about your AMD cards, which can be very pricey right now in the current market. RAM prices are falling though, which is nice. So as a developer, we want to make more fascinating games. So PC is always a must-do for high-end 3D games. I mean, okay. Ongoing hardware shortages and price hikes have obviously made PC gaming more costly to get into. Okay, good. Reporter is aware. Yeah, they know about current real-world problems. But frankly, consoles ain't getting any cheaper either. Shelling out for a PC at least gets you more than a pure gaming and streaming device. Yeah, I mean, it's a work device, it's where you watch content. It's kind of everything. Consoles don't always do that. And critically, access to Steam and emulators. Okay. Though you have to spend more than you would on a console to get comparable performance out of cutting-edge games. Aha. But as a PC gamer who owns all three major consoles, I'm not here to debate the best platform. Bro, I'm reaching a point where if I send this to my professor in university, he's gonna give me a really bad grade for this report. I swear, this has me going like, what's the main point you're saying? As I read paragraph to paragraph. I hope this was genuinely written by you, writer. Don't worry, nothing against you if you are watching this video, but You are scrambling my brain a little bit. Okay, Ryan suggests Japan is a standout even among other PC gaming growth markets. And it's not lost on me that Japan has reportedly surpassed China in gacha revenue for Artnet's Enfield as automated reports. Okay, good citation. We say that in essays, actually referencing something else. So the reason for this is the report is saying that in the Rossi banner, Japan has for the first time in perhaps Artnet's history surpassed in revenue, like not just Enfield, like also inclusive of AK, which is cool. Lots of people in Japan love Rossi, and that's a good thing for Enfield, I think, to see that they have a second market that can be very strong. Usually, people think that there are not many PC players in areas like Japan or China, but it's actually very, very large nowadays. Is this new information? I genuinely am confused by this article. I am not like, I don't know if I'm going to look forward to the next two articles after this. Is this shocking? And like, when you say Japan, China, and even Korea, or like Asia in general, Asia is so popular with PC gaming culture. Like, people who don't own PCs also go to internet cafes to play. So, I do not understand. But I guess they're talking about new PC owners. That just comes with age, though, no? Ryan says, I'm reminded of enormous PC releases like Black Myth Wukong, or the huge turnout for Steam launch of Stellar Blade from developer Shifta, who branched out a mobile reputation it established with Decay. I hope to see more companies use their gacha goal for non-gacha games as well. Okay, his personal opinion into the article. Ryan adds, the mobile part is not growing as well as it was before, and is even decreasing in some regions. PC players are very important for games like Enfield. Bro, I think this article is confused as crap, man. Because the mobile gaming of like Enfield, I think is just as important as it is for PC. Like if Enfield only released in one way, it's not good as well. Like there are people who don't own PCs, and it's like I thought this article was going to emphasize on the fact that one of the best parts of Enfield release was the fact that the mobile side of stuff is very optimized, right? Like it's easy to play. Even low end phones can actually pick it up. You can still enjoy the whole story, the gameplay experience, and not feel like you're losing out to the other communities. Of course, you might lose out in terms of graphics, but you don't feel that bad in a sense. Like compared to some of the other gacha games, a lot of people might sometimes highlight that their mobile phones can't even survive them, and Enfield is doing quite a bit better. So I think the point of this article is to say that the PC market that Enfield has developed or grown is probably the biggest. But that is also because Enfield is already designed like a game that was meant to be super suited to a PC player. And that's not a revelation, that's not a bad thing, that's not a problem, that's not like a miracle. It's just what it is. It's the nature of the game. Like people also say that Genshin and Watering are also kind of like best played on PC. So I don't really know what this article is trying to say here. Like there's I don't know. I just wish that the article perhaps highlighted more or asked the developer more on how they feel towards the reception of the mobile port of the game. So it's not that the idea that the mobile part is not growing as much as before, well, there are also some people who don't play on dual platforms. Some people just choose one. Like I barely play Enfield on mobile because I'm more often at home or I'm able to log in to Enfield through my PC and I enjoy playing it on PC more. So when more people are on PC, less people are on mobile. It's just the nature of things. I don't know what this is. Meanwhile, PlayStation is reportedly backing away from PC to prioritize its console brand and reduce investment in ports that seemingly weren't cutting the mustard. What does that mean? What do you mean PlayStation is backing away from PC? Has it always not been am I not up to date with the market? Is PlayStation now a laptop brand? What's this? Maybe I'm not knowledgeable. Wait, I just realized just from this first article and the fact that so many people freaked out on social media, they probably freaked out over the title but they didn't actually read the article. And I'm now really scared, okay? We are going to move on to the second article. And this second article was the most discussed one, right? Like a lot of people were high in flames over this title. So I'm going to read it together with you guys, okay? Move on. Arknight's Endfield Dev says launching a new gacha RPG in a post-Genshin Impact world is tough when some titles are so similar that players go into a game for 1 hour and they know what will happen in the next 12 hours. Okay, it's an interesting title, caught my attention. I do want to see what's the elaboration, what's the comment stated here. Do I agree with it? I think that's not untrue per se. Like the whole idea where the game is very predictable. I mean, that's the idea of using very common tropes in a story, right? The tragedy, this person is sick, this person might be have red flags that might mean that he will be killed, that kind of thing. You have mystery antagonists, like all those things feels pretty usual in the gacha gaming sphere. Interesting to use the whole Genshin Impact in the title. So let's see if there's weight to it. Okay, turning your RPG into a factory building sim is one way to stand out. Okay. New action RPG Arknight's Endfield turns heads, not just because it's a major release from Hyperglyph, home of tower defense powerhouse Arknights, but also because none of these other post-Genshin Impact gacha action RPGs have tried turning themselves into Factorial yet. But wait, this line makes it seem like every gacha game has to turn into Factorial. They don't. I, I, okay, I'm moving on. This mix of genres immediately stood out, and I'll be damned, it actually works. Okay, yeah, it actually works, cool. Lead developer Ryan of Hyperglyph tells me the factory and automation side of the game was something the developers just wanted to try, but it does have the added bonus of feeling different in a space crowded with similar RPGs. I think this statement undersells it a bit though. I don't think Hyperglyph just wanted to try. I think with the premise of Arknights being Rhodes Island, and the fact that you are a pharmaceutical company developing medication, weapons, and other things for operators and people to use, I'm pretty certain that the reason why they even got the idea of adding factory into a 3D world was simply because you also still own a company. Why not, like, the most popular idea for a factory concept is, you know, your factory building games, and therefore they decided to add it in here. And it's creative. It changes the way that I farm materials in as compared to the other gacha games where the only way I farm materials is killing enemies. So, like, I don't think it's just as simple as wanted to try, because that makes it sound like they can't be bothered if it doesn't go well. But we're gonna move on. At GDC, I spoke to Ryan. What is GDC? Some conference about the risk of launching any live service game in 2026, an intimidating task even the Marvel rival devs. Even to the Marvel rival devs, sorry, and how the gacha landscape in particular has evolved and started to settle. In the years since Genshin Impact's massive launch, more and more open worldy, nice word, gacha action RPGs have cropped up, and that doesn't seem to be stopping. Okay, there's Neverness to Everness and Silver Palace. There are so many similar titles nowadays, Ryan agrees, and we still think that players are expecting something new. For some open world RPG gacha games, for some titles, they are so similar that players go into the game for 1 hour and they know what will happen in the next 20 hours. It's like build teams, fight the dungeons, and get rewards. Did did the title just ruin the guy's line? If if this is verbatim and the person said for some open world gacha games, they're so similar. But then this title says, okay, I see. I guess there's nothing wrong with the title, but it does give you the impression that the dev is specifically describing Arknight's Enfield when putting it here. You know what I mean? Like you copy this and you paste it here. The Arknight's Enfield is so similar that players go into this game. But if you read the report, it doesn't actually imply that. right? The report is implying that he's just saying that it will be difficult. So we're going to read the next line. Our hope is to make something different for the characters. He continues. We actually decrease the cost of building teams so players can try out more combinations, which is nice. And we are giving out more free pools in the current version and the next version to get more characters to try out different combinations. So the article title got misinterpreted by a lot of people, it seems, from me reading this. That in a sense, this lead dev is kind of trying to say that, like, the Enfield devs understand that it's challenging, but they are doing their part to make sure that they help to differentiate. It is a PR answer, I agree, but it's not as inflammatory as what I saw some people put it before I read this interview. This is still comfortably in the realm of collecting, building, and piloting teams of characters, which is standard for gacha games. Enfield finds a bit of an edge in its commitment to factory building mechanics, challenging players to construct and optimize resource pipelines and lightly terraform the world around them. You don't have to invest a ton of hours into it to get a workable resource farm going, but for the sim-minded, there's a good bit to tinker with. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about this don't have to invest a ton part in a different video. Maybe it's out already by now when you watch it. In a lot of open world games, the world is more aesthetic. Ryan says, players cannot influence the world, so the factory building part introduced some of the experience from sandbox games, which makes players feel different. And we find that on average, players spend more hours than other similar games because of the sandbox. The building part is something new to them. Yep, it is. Overall, Ryan says that Enfield players are putting in a lot more time in the game than we expected, with the folks who stick with the games spending tens of hours in the system for factory building. Wait, I genuinely think me just reading this and filming this halfway, Ian really doesn't read. Like, I've seen less positives from people reacting to this interview than, like, it's all like people bashing at this article. But like the article really doesn't seem all that bad. Like the guy's not trying to say, oh, we gave out an Enfield because Genshin Impact was a game that happened before. It's more so that this article is saying that we are trying our hardest to not appear the same. So, god damn, man. I came into this thinking like, oh, it was seriously terrible or something. But yeah, I think it's fine. I'm not upset with the article right now. Our strategy is that we are not going to make it harder and harder, he explains. We don't want players to go deeper into the calculations and math. We just want to bring some more new, more different, but not harder game mechanics into the building system in future versions. I'm not against this. That I think, at least for the current characters, there's enough interesting complexity. Like, for example, Tang Tang being the first character that adds haste in the game. Rossi being a character that has the whole arts infliction turning into a vulnerable. I think these are all pretty cool. It's not exactly complex. Casual players can feel something nice out of learning it. And then for the people who really want to invest in the how good can this get, they can also feel that. Like, I'm very happy with the character direction of the game right now in terms of like the team building part. Of course, the part I'm not happy with is there isn't truly a hard enough place to test what you've learned about the characters, but we'll see that in future patches, really. Threading the needle on potential depth and necessary knowledge, essentially, I gather. Yeah, it is the interesting thing. I mean, it's also the interesting thing about Arknights in a sense, because on paper, sorry, not on paper, but on first sight, certain Arknights characters can look very easy to use. And then when you try to dive deeper into their talents and how they synergize with other people, you start to realize there's more that happens to it. Quite the same as Enfield, right? Like, depending on who you pair your new character with, the dynamic changes of your team, which I think is really nice. Just as Arknights. Oh, I thought I was the only one who's going to bring up Arknights when I read this, but it's in the next paragraph. Sorry? Just as Arknights has introduced new game modes over the years, including its own spin on auto chess, Stronghold Protocol, Ryan says that the Enfield team is preparing different gameplay to introduce in the future versions. Yes, exciting! Very exciting. Yes. I swear, Ian has no reading comprehension when reading this article because they didn't even read it. I was initially interested in Endfield precisely because it's doing something I haven't seen in other post-Genshin games. Because Genshin Light feels a little too limiting, but a lot of these types of RPGs do share some DNA. So I'd love to see if it gets even wilder with gameplay styles and genres. I can't believe this. I don't, well, I must say this article feels a little bit nicer written than the previous one that we just read. But god damn, is this title so misleading? This title is a pain. No, like, I hope that when people watch this video, they realize that they shot themselves in the foot and assume what was gonna come out of this article. Please read the chat box before continuing. Like, read what you guys are saying. Is there anything big that you guys have said before I move on? The whole paragraph is about building a factory. Yeah, but it's not really that. It also pointed out on combat and stuff. The title isn't misleading. It's a little clickbaity. The title is sort of written in a way that doesn't care if people misunderstand it or not. I completely misunderstood the factory building as team building. Did I? No, I don't think so. You guys are talking about this part, right? No, I totally saw it as factory building. Like the fact that this part when they said that they put a lot of hours into the factory stuff. Yeah, I get that. And then the building system stuff? Oh, I see. You guys are saying that this paragraph I might have misunderstood. Like this paragraph might not be talking about team building, but it might be talking about factory building instead. It's still not a bad thing. Like, I think they've done a good job on both parts, whether is it the creativity in the characters, and if we see in the recent patch 1.1, I thought the introduction of the brand new Yachen Strange that they did, together with the brand new battery, the fact that those two pipelines actually connect together is one of the most fun I've ever had when it comes to the factory building part of this game. It is super challenging, but it feels so rewarding when you finally understand how to do it. If you guys did it with a blueprint, you're not going to experience the same joy because I think there's an immense satisfaction from doing it yourself and then being proud of your work at the end of it. So it's all good, really. Like, yeah, I feel a little bit more enjoyment from reading this stuff because it's highlighting on the things that I've said before, right? Like there are things about AK that they should have learned. It's good that the dev brings it up. The whole idea that they should be introducing different gameplay in the future. It's a matter of how soon can they do it because, like I said, I don't know how patient people can be in terms of like waiting for this to finally change up the game. Okay, I will carry on to the last article. Okay, the last article is the gacha. Endfield lead says good gacha systems don't impact the player's ability to enjoy the gameplay. And Endfield is trying to fix this confusing gacha. Seriously, this I won't lie. I have a feeling this title is misleading. I'll be shocked if it's not, because it's almost sounding like as if he's talking specifically about the Endfield gacha. Because if you think about it, these two statements don't go together, right? Good gacha systems don't impact the gameplay. Oh, but we're trying to change it. Like, but you just said it doesn't impact the gameplay. You know what I mean? So let's read it. We're also calculating how many pool players can get every version. Okay. So, even by gacha standards, progression and monetization in Arknight's Endfield is pretty confusing. Before and at launch, the newly released action RPG spin on Hypergrave's Arknights drew criticism for convoluted currencies, opaque character drop rates, and pity maximums, and a rotating banner system that obscures how your investment is tracked. Are they talking about Arknights or are they talking about Endfield? Because it says... No, they're talking about Endfield. This line is talking... there's better ways to write this statement, man. But okay, whatever. In an interview with Games Radar at GDC, lead developer Ryan, his preferred name for press. I see, so he must have a proper Chinese name, but he changed his name to Ryan. I wonder who this is. discuss the response to Enfield's gacha system and some plans to refine it, as well as the impact of these systems on games as a whole. Ryan acknowledges different responses to gacha systems between Asian and Western audience. It is true. The Asian audience are more receptive towards Enfield. They quite enjoy Enfield actually. They don't complain about the Enfield gacha as much. Which Ryuku Sensei, a person who I've done the podcast with recently, was kind enough to point out to me that it's very interesting that for us as Western players, we call these games gacha games, but in the two countries, they don't necessarily call them gacha games, but they call them social games, which means to say that they kind of put the gacha not as the primary part of the game. But for us English players, for some reason, there's a good number of us that puts gacha first, and we kind of completely disregard of just what good there are in the gameplay. And as a result, I think that's why there's a change in the way that we respond towards it. So people can be critical about the gacha part of the game because they are not used to the monetization method, he says. But in East Asia, players are more used to the gacha system. I have my opinion on this. Let's read on first. But even some folks who fluently speak gacha balk at Enfield's dated and complicated system. Dated? That's weird. Okay. So Hypergraph is eyeing improvements. Ryan says we are giving out more in-game currencies for a start, and we will use the questionnaire and our in-game data to see if players are feeling paywalled by the gacha system. Okay, I'll say my opinion now, since this is the statement that is going on. This is not the first time you're going to hear me say this. I'm probably going to say this in a different video that's coming up very soon together with this one. I've spent more money than that I have in Enfield in the past 2 months than perhaps a single year of me playing Arknights. So I think thus far in Enfield, I spent in my own country's currency maybe $250, and that's in 2 months for like the 5 banners of the game, right? Of course, the good thing is that the launch banner had a lot of free stuff. It makes it very easy to get the character. But I won't deny that I even feel lucky that that's the amount of money I spent, because a lot of the characters that I tried to get, like Tang Tang and Rossi, I didn't take the full 120. I went to only 80 pools. This is with me buying the monthly card and the battle pass, by the way. But I'm now buying more than them. I've bought some of the Ori Geometry. I've bought some of the special limited time packs in order to cover up the fact that I need more pools. And I find that very problematic. Like, the trouble I have at hand right now, of course, some people will say, well, you don't have to spend money. Like, why would you have to do that? Like, you can be like me, free to play, don't spend anything. Well, one, I'd like to experience the feelings that I get in AK, because it's not like I don't spend in AK. I still do when I feel good and like I want to actually do it. In the case of Enfield, I want to feel the same. But the problem I have is that Enfield's spending never feels very satisfying for me. One, because right now the game state is almost as if I don't really know why I need to own certain characters, apart from the fact that they feel fun to play. But in terms of like game content, there isn't like something hard enough that makes them seem necessary. Of course, I'm not trying to say that a game mode should make you feel paywall as well. It's the reason why I don't play the other gacha games. Like, you shouldn't create Unreal Monument in a way that if you don't own Tang Tang, you're screwed, for example. It's more so like, for example, if you play CC, right? In Arknights, you have Risk 18. Risk 18 can be cleared without all the premium characters. You can still get all the rewards. But if you want to do like Risk 25, Risk 30, the higher difficulty, where there's no rewards in play, it's just for your personal pride, that makes a spender feel very good that they have spent on the premium character. So the current point of this game is that I don't really get that. Like, I feel like I get the characters for fun. Of course, I think they will solve this problem in the future. That's on one part. But the other trouble that I have is that when it comes to me topping up money in Arknights to get characters, like for example, if I'm scrapping for pools and I don't have enough, it's kind of feels cheaper for me to do it over there than it does over in Enfield. Like, right now, going into the next patch, I think even as a spender myself, I'm only entering the next patch with 30 pools or 40 pools. And that's already very difficult for me to like secure the character. So I really don't like the fact that I need to cover it up with like hundreds of dollars of my own money in order to get characters. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the other reason why I pool for every character is I'm a content creator. Like, if I ever want to make a video about a specific character, of course I want to like own the character. But yeah, I just don't enjoy that it's so much money, because these hundreds of dollars that I'm putting in this game could be used for something else in my life, for my own personal well-being. I could finally afford I'm sorry for the spit, but I could finally afford a personal therapist in order to cure my own mental well-being. For all I know, I could focus on enjoying more food, stuff like that. Like I kind of wish that Enfield didn't like the reason why I think AK is so successful, which I don't know if I'm saying it out of my ass or it's true, is that there are a lot of small spenders in AK. So if you imagine that AK has 3 million players, if every player on average spends like $3, then consistently AK is always making like 9 million, $10 million, which is a lot to run for a 3D, for a 2D game. In the case of Enfield, because of the, and I also think that that's the case for the other gacha games, they do a lot on the high-end spenders. So as a result, like high-end spenders are spending hundreds of dollars. And then the problem is that the low-end spenders don't feel as good to spend, and then therefore they are lower, or they just don't spend any money at all. I kind of wish that Enfield did something to level this out, such that the low-end players can feel good that even if they just spend on the monthly card and the monthly battle pass, they can actually still afford to get characters they want. Like, for those of you who play AK, you would perhaps say that you guys are just monthly card owners, and you've already gotten most of the units that you want. If you're only a monthly card owner in Enfield, it's not easy for you to get every character that you want. You will skip banners, and I don't even know if you'll skip, like, you might have to skip 2 banners in order to still get a character that you want. Like, be very confident about it. And I don't think that feels very nice. I feel it's a thing that happens in the Hoyo games and the Wuthering Waves, for example. I just don't think Enfield should model that. I do think that it affects the player's enjoyment. At least it affects mine. I don't know about you guys. And then there's nothing wrong with trying to lower the spending. Like trying to ease up the gacha system in this game is overall sort of the win. Basically, rather than to have like only 10% of the player base being very willing to pay and they're always paying exorbitantly high, I'd rather they change it to a 70% of the player base being very comfortable to just spend a little bit. And that will match the fact that, oh, you're lowering the spending of the higher end players, but hey, it's a win. Everyone feels good to be a part of the system. But yeah, it's not that great right now in Enfield, I feel. So that's what I'm going to say to how I think about the whole paywall thing. I might describe this again in a different video. So if you hear it for the second time, so sorry. Let's finish this article, okay? Okay, to help offset or prevent the paywall effect, the opening hours of Enfield have been adjusted. Ryan says designated selection permits have been added to let players grab a character of their choice quickly. Most of the players can build up a top-tier team in the current version. So if it's not the current version, is it not a top-tier team? Will my Pogranishnik fall off? Will Ardelia fall off? What's this? What a statement. But I will get past it. That's our goal, to give up more resources for players to build useful teams. He continues. And for players who think that there are too many currencies in the UI, and it sometimes can be confusing. We're also trying to combine some of the currencies to make it more clear for players. And we are still creating more questionnaires for the next version to see if our adjustment works. And we hope to receive more feedback and in-game data to see if we need further optimization. In a follow-up comment, a Hypergraph representative clarified that these gacha optimizations are at discussion level with no firm changes to share immediately. I wonder if we'll hear about anything in the coming livestream. Like many of today's Western gacha players, I got into the genre through Genshin Impact and have tried many other games. I still play Genshin regularly, but from day one through today, gacha systems have always seemed to me like something you tolerate and not something you enjoy. True. Good. Finally, a statement that I like from the writer. Well done. I mean, personal opinions are things you should write in your essay, but this one feels very relatable. High rolling is fun, sure, but there's a flimsy defense of a predatory system which I compare to alcohol. Fun in moderation, but entirely capable of ruining you. His writing got better after 3 articles. The first one was really not good. I would have graded it badly. This one I can grade. He'll get a high grade for his assignment. I asked Ryan about the unavoidable friction of gacha. A monetization first, a fun second system built around luck and scarcity, and how he defines a good gacha system. He says the important part is to find out how players in-game are affected by the gacha system. We have to ensure that players, including free players, are not paywalled by the system. Good. He adds, they can experience all the content. For us, it's important to monitor all players, including the free players, what team they are using, what difficulties they are facing in the combat of the world and dungeons. Can they build and experience most of the game content? That's the major concern for us. So, I mean, I'm not gonna like rehash my point. That this is what I kind of mean by they need to figure a way to get willing spenders to even be willing to put just their first dollars on the monthly card. Like monthly card for a lot of people are pretty okay in terms of like a spending, because if you divide your monthly card into the number of days in a month, it's kind of incense for you to pay. In certain economies, I can imagine some of you who's watching this can't even think to afford, and that's fine. I do think that the game should also care for such people. I feel that the reason why AK is very enjoyable is because players can feel that they can get most of the units that they want. Endfield doesn't have that feeling yet. If Endfield can somehow become a game like that, it will be a change in the 3D gacha environment, because I don't think the other gachas have exactly pulled it off. The feeling that you can get a lot of what you want easily. Endfield does feel like a very big scarcity problem right now, and I just feel good reading the article that it seems like knowing Hypergriff, I think they want to do something about it. But I will give them like the whole year to see whether they actually make significant changes. We are also calculating how many pools players can get every version to see how many characters they are expecting to get every version. Those feedback questionnaires and the in-game data ensure that to minimize the impact of the gacha system on the gameplay experience, so most of the players are not affected by the system to enjoy our game. But still, there are options for paying users to acquire more characters, more combinations, and play the game in a more personalized way. So for me, I think the most important part of the gacha system is not to impact the player's ability to enjoy the gameplay. No, there's something else that There's something else that I kind of want to like point out from here that differentiates this a bit from AK. So I feel that Enfield needs to understand and think that the way to monetize the game doesn't only have to come across gacha. Like if you think about Arknights, the current modern day Arknights has evolved to the point where monetization also comes from customization, right? Like we have cosmetics, we have skins in the game, we have now profile icons, we have backgrounds, UI changes, right? Those I think are providing good funding for AK, and Enfield has none of that right now. In like the only singular way that Enfield earns money is by selling pools. So I genuinely do think that they need to very quickly be a little bit more respectful to the there are other means of sucking a person's willingness to pay. I feel like you just give us like a 3D skin, we will start raving in Enfield. Like I'm gonna buy. Like some of you are gonna buy, yes? Or like I mean Battle Pass at least gives some unique weapons, like a good alternative weapon, which is already a sort of nice incentivization. And also, I guess this is something that they do in both Enfield and AK, which is they also sell materials, right? Like to speed up your building progress. So AK do that a lot more over time. Like we have things like the Dark Lord Purse, where it only gives LMD primarily with some OP on the side. You have things that gives you EXP. You have things that gives you skill summaries, right? Enfield just starts. Enfield has only just started, so they are trying to gauge, I guess, the people's speed at building characters. That's why we don't have like paid packs where it isn't about pools, but it's more so. Sorry, we don't have paid packs where it's just solo on materials, and instead everything is still very hyper focused on pools. I do believe that as time passes, they will change the model a little bit and then change it to the fact that they sell more materials, so that maybe people who join the game later, and if they feel that they're okay to spend, they will spend on those instead. But yeah, really need to think about how they do this in order to give everyone a good time, I feel. Make spenders feel happy to spend. Make free-to-play players feel good that they are free to play, right? Like, nothing wrong with that. Just, it's about the revenue model, I feel. BP Battle Pass right now in the game gives so much materials. I agree. It's probably the most worth purchase I see in the game right now. I mean, it's the thing that's allowed me to build every character. All right, let's once and for all finish this article. The necessity of pools per patch math demonstrates the irreconcilable give and take of gacha systems. At best, they can be more generous and less frustrating. Personally, I find myself hoping for less gacha craft entirely and more games like X a no-strings premium RPG released by Hypergrave publishing arm Griffline in 2024. Ryan says X was one of our attempts to try out other possibilities of the JRPG on mobile, and reasons there must be other possibilities for these games to develop in the future, but we may need to try more ways of monetization. Yes! Yes! Don't just succumb to gacha. There are probably a lot of good, smart ways to make people who want to spend. So there's that. I mean, now that I've read all the articles, I really do think that they're not as negative or inflammatory as what I see people in forums talk about. They're genuinely they are genuinely okay. You know, it's all very PR, as what some of you might put it. That of course they have to say nice things, but I don't think it's just saying nice things to say nice things. It's like things that we in the community, content creators, are all highlighting. Things like offering more different type of gameplay, thinking about how to make the gacha a little bit smoother. Like, I think these are all great things that at least this dev in particular have pointed out, and they're not like ignoring it per se. So to me, the article presents itself as it's step one, acknowledging the problem, right? And now with us, the viewer, reading these interviews, it's just a matter of, okay, thanks for saying you know the problem. So when are you gonna actually deal with it, right? So yeah, I had a good time reading these interviews. I feel. I hope you all had a good time too, seeing them through. Diffuse the situation. There is no drama out of this. If any drama that you've read in the past few days, god damn, are they self-created? Oh yes, the first article wasn't very good. Thank you. If no one talks about this anymore, I think the discussion for this died down like 3 days ago. I'm late, but yeah. I mean, I stopped filming the video already, so no more video mode. I'm back to earth. Hi guys. I think it was okay, right? Like, yeah, lor, just it's not that bad. It's a good. What do I think of 1.2? I think 1.2 will have at least one game changing thing that they will propose. Like, 1.2 is a live stream, right? 1.2 is not a devlog video. It's a proper pre-recorded live stream that they're going to publish. Then everyone watches it live as a watch party. Because it's a live stream, I'm quite sure that there will be at least one major thing being announced on that day. Lowlight might not know host this one. No, I think Lowlight will be in this one. I don't think this is the one where they do like a 2D character running the show, like Eureka or like Eureka or someone else. Like, I think this is a proper they might have a 2D character introduction to feel like a part of the stream, because that's what they've been doing in the recent CN live stream sometimes, where they have a 2D host and then afterwards they switch it into the devs. Maybe that will happen, but it won't be a pure like 2D host taking you through the entire thing. I'm quite sure. I think it's gonna be like Lola is at least still there. The live stream page is up. There's a live stream page, really. Let me take a look. Yeah, I go and open it. Yeah. Okay, opening the Endfield live stream page. The fact that there's a page is crazy. That means they really care. Oh, you all don't mean a website. You all just mean like you all just mean this. Is this it? I don't see a website. This is on 11. I look forward. I'm quite sure this is the reason why the JP live stream is also today. I have a feeling the JP live stream wanted to be on this day, but then they make sure that they don't overlap. At the Wake of Spring is a very positive title, by the way, of a live stream, I feel, compared to the previous one. What was the previous one again? As the waves tides something 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 something. I do not know. As the wave tides rises, ta 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 ta. I cannot remember. But this is good. Surely nothing bad will happen. I think this patch will end with a cliffhanger. Okay, I make some preliminary guesses, okay, of what's gonna happen for this patch. Number one, story-wise, I think this patch won't have like a death or like a bad situation per se. Every patch ends with a cliffhanger. No. When I say cliffhanger, I really mean like this one has a very like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? Like yes, 1.0 ended with the whole Ardeshir stands ominously. 1.1, sorry, 1.0 did that. 1.1 also did that. 1.2 to me is a bit different. 1.2 is like I think something goes super wrong and then they stop it there. And then you're like, oh no, I can't continue until the next patch. That's my guess. Um, they've already teased it, did they? Where? No, they didn't. A lot of bamboo team, and that's just the tower or the dam wall in the 1.1 video. Oh, I mean, yeah, they did. The new characters they teased it as well. Not the official new characters. Whatever that you see in this patch confirms the next patch's banners as well. By the way, you all need to know that this patch decides 4 banners in a row. You just don't know what the next 2 banners order is. So Mifu, Fang Yi, random bird girl, and random Sengta guy. Sengta, right? Yes. You feel like Chuang will dethrone Avrina? I don't think Chuang will dethrone Avrina. I think Fang Yi will enter Avrina's team. Probably. Because Avrina's team don't consume electric stacks. They just use a lot of electric infliction. No, they cause a lot of electric infliction. Sorry, that's the other way around. So I have a feeling Fang Yi is probably a. My guess is that she is a electric inflictor. So meaning that she causes inflictions and then she consumes it. So I think Fang Yi will be very similar to Levitine and Last Ride. Like you know how Last Ride consumes 3 cryo stacks to do stuff, and then Levitine is all about the heat stacks. I have a feeling that Fang Yi is going to be very similar. That consumes a lot of electric stacks. And then if that were the case, then I feel like Pelika Avrina will be very popular because they already cause it. I'm quite sure Arclight will still be there because of electrification. If Fang Yi's kit is consumes electric stacks to cause electrification somewhere in her kit, like whether her skill or her combo, that would be quite insane because that will also support Arclight. Like, okay, I'll tell you what's the best outcome for the electric team. If Fang Yi has a combo that deals electric infliction, it would be insane that that happens. Like, for example, if her kit says when two or more of the same infliction occurs, applies a third. But that's kind of what fluoride does. So she can't do that. No, no, I don't think any character will have the same combo right now in the game. I'm quite sure they will commit to every character doing something different. What would they do with a combo? I'm quite sure she will have a powerful combo. Can I guess it? It has to support an electric team. I feel like it's predictable. They might add a new gimmick. I'm quite sure both Mifu and Fang Yi will have gimmicks. Maybe when enemies suffer electrification, deal massive damage. Will they do when enemies suffer electrification? No, they can't because there's Arclight's combo. Arclight's combo is when enemy has electrification, something happens. Oh, I can do this. Okay, no, no, no. I got an idea. When electrification is consumed, no one does that yet, right? Arclight is when electrification is triggered. Oh no, but Arclight's also saying when electrification is consumed, right? It's both triggered and consumed. Then what? They be boring. They do Yvonne. When final strike on electrified enemy. Oh my god, boring. It will be very boring if that was the case. That's Afwina. Oh my god, Afwina's. Oh my god. We've run out of ideas, guys. Enfield's over. We can't be creative anymore. But it clearly has to do with some electric thing. Fang Yi will be a hybrid. I'm sure Fang Yi will not be a hybrid. Fang Yi's kit is very likely pure electric. When Arts Burst, but when Arts Burst also exists, right, currently in the game, are we not scared from the threat of from above anymore? Rephrase that. I actually don't know what threat from above refer to. When electric stack is applied on an enemy with electrification. That's interesting. Yeah, what you just said is very interesting. When you do an electric stack on an enemy that's electrified, causes another electric infliction. That would be interesting. Okay, let me. Okay, rather than to you know, theorize what I think the combo will be. The point I'm trying to make is that I think her combo has to be an applicator, meaning that it applies electric inflictions. That would be powerful. And then her skill is like a consumption of the stack. Or they can do it like how Last Rite is, which is Last Rite's skill is the applicator, and then the combo is the one that eats the stacks. They might do it that way instead, which would make the team a little bit SP hungry, I feel. But then again, Arclight exists. Her out will be interesting. Because I feel like her out will probably be a support buffer. So I feel like she'll end up becoming a DPS support for the electric team. Because what they'll probably end up doing, since it's super likely that Fang Yi's team right now is Perlika, Avrina, Arclight, and her. This is without even seeing her exist in the game. And I have a feeling that when she's in the out form, it probably helps the other teammates. So her out is a support. Her skill is probably something that gives electric infliction. Maybe it says something like when there is an electric inflictions applies two instead. Like that would be crazy of a unit. Like instead of applying one electric infliction, it actually applies two. So she becomes the first character that applies two in one skill use. And then then combo is a consumption. Like it will be pretty powerful. Is she guaranteed to be electric? I think it will shock everyone to the core if she's not electric. Because we don't have an electric 6-star yet. And Mifu is clearly not an electric 6-star as well. Like between Mifu and Fang Yi, who comes across as an electric inflictor? Like it really will make everyone jaw drop if we enter the next patch not getting a 6-star electric. Yeah, and in the story, it mentions that she uses lightning arts. So she has to be a lightning character. I would be surprised if they make Fang Yi not a pure electric. Because that's kind of what Tang Tang is. So you know how Tang Tang's kit is a lot of cryo, but Tang Tang can actually work with other elements. If you all have been only using Tang Tang in like cryo teams, which is still the most powerful way to play Tang Tang, like with Yvonne and with Last, right? But you can actually play Tang Tang with people like Levitine. You can play Tang Tang in a nature team. You can play Tang Tang in an electric team as well. It sounds crazy when I say that, but you genuinely can. Like Tang Tang right now, another way that people are using her is with Rossi. There's the Tang Tang, Rossi, Gilberta, Progadishnik team, which is very, very hybridized. Tang Tang is a character that doesn't have to solo exist in one element. So if they created Fang Yi in a way where she also doesn't have to exist in one element, I would be very impressed that they got creative with it. I do think that Mi Fu will be. I feel like Mi Fu will be physical. I'd be surprised if she's something else. Like I think the second thing that Mi Fu can. Yeah, I feel like Mi Fu is very physical. I don't think she's an element. She might be a physical that deals arts damage though. I think that would be creative. It's a way that they can go. So like her main element is physical, but they allow some of her skills to deal an element damage instead. So like maybe she deals heat when skill on. But her main element is not heat. Her main element is given as physical. Ember already does that. Yeah, Ember has a lot of no, but Ember is heat purely. But Ember has tons of damage that comes across as physical. So basically, we're trying to say that Mifu will be the reverse Ember. So her main element is physical, and her damage type is heat for whatever reason. Then we're gonna get 3 heat physical characters. But that's fine, because that means Rossi stocks increases. But we should be going down in line. So we got a heat 6 star, we got a cryo 6 star, and we're getting an electric 6 star. That might make the bird girl the nature 6 star. I feel. I don't think they will release two elements in a row for now in the game. I feel like they will go through the all the elements first, and then afterwards they will recycle and switch the order. Which means that the bird girl should be the first 6 star in 1.3. And then the Sancta guy is a wild card. He can be any element. We do have Gilberta. Yeah, but we're like spinning the wheel, you know. Yeah, we need a DPS nature, which we don't have one right now in the game. I think the bird girl with the DPS nature. Release some 4 or 5 stars. I would be very shocked. Okay, I'll tell you what's the most surprising thing that they can do with the incoming live stream. Both banners have one 5 star and one 6 star. Will you all be surprised if that happens? Meaning the two side characters, the bird and the guy, are actually 5 stars and not 6. It might make them feel lousy, but that would be quite impressive if they dare to do that. It sounds expensive to do it. I agree. It does feel very costly for them to do it. It would be nice if they just release one 5 star for the next patch. Are we okay? Are we all saying if they give one 5 star, it's enough for it to feel like, whoa, that's kind of cool? And it might even be a 5 star that is not like the tease characters. It might be like a completely new person that we have not seen. It will make a good reason for the live stream. Most players don't care about the 5 star. I disagree. Would you say that? I don't think so. Considering how few 6 stars there are in the game, and the fact that the 5 stars are sometimes your glue for your team, I don't think Enfield players disregard the 5 stars. I'm sure Enfield players do, to some degree, appreciate the 5 stars. I mean, they're easy to get as well, and they're easy to get into the team. I don't think Enfield players have the same sentiment to the lower rarity characters as what they might have with the other 3D games. Like in other 3D games, like when it comes to like, for example, they have 5 stars and 4 stars, it's very easy for people to just no longer give a shit about the 4 stars. But I don't think Enfield does that. Like Enfield seem thus far, the current roster have allowed the 4 and like it's not just the 5 stars, even the 4 stars feels relevant in certain teams. Like Estella is really strong. Right? Fluorite is in Last Right's team now. Akekuri is being used as the SP generator. So I'm sure Enfield players have a higher appreciation to lower rarity units appearing in the game than they may have in the other titles. You don't see much value in having different rarities in games aside from AK. Yeah. Other games also care, but only on early part. You hope Enfield doesn't. I also hope that Enfield doesn't. They eventually get replaced and people stop caring about the 4 or 5. For now, it doesn't seem that bad, lor. I don't see a direct replacement. Like Fluorite was an uncapped 4 star prior to Tang Tang being released. As soon as Tang Tang dropped, Fluorite started entering like various people's teams. Like you can melt Fluorite into the gameplay. And then like I think Umbral Monument in particular increased the stops of the defenders. So not just Ember, but Snowshine and Catcher became very relevant. in Umbral Monument, especially if you want to cheese certain mechanics that appear over there. I think the game would do a good job in terms of like ensuring that the older character still has a place to stay in the game. Yeah, even if they are power crap, they're still important for new players. And then you also need to understand that what's the cheapest 5-star team right now in the game, right? The cheapest 5-star team that you can play is Perlica, Avrina, and Arclight. And then your fourth character can be Adelia, for example, right? Which is a free 6-star. Like, people who just start the game can at least feel that they can build an easy team. Yeah, they can run a Chenta Pan team, Enmin maybe being inside if they want to. If it's not Enmin, they can just have other applicators of vulnerable, right? They either pull into a Lifeng or Proganishnik to add to the physical team, and then just add a fourth physical dealer. Like it can be Catcher, it can be um it could be Estella, actually, depending if they play Estella well. Oh no, but Estella needs to be a hybrid. I mean, I'm using Estella Gilberta now, so like, yeah. Okay. What if they release a free 5-star? I don't see that happening until anniversary. I don't think that will happen. The gift, they need to be very careful with the free gift that they give in 1.2. Because even if they give like tons of pools now, the problem is when 1 year later, like when we get anniversary in January of next year, that January must be a very big patch. So, like for example, if this patch they suddenly announce like 50 free pools, the anniversary is gonna be like 70 free pools. You know what I mean? So they have to be very wary of what they do in 1.2. Because you don't want the anniversary to feel less than a certain patch. You just want more factory content? We are bound to get another outpost in the next patch. For sure. And it should open up more Forge of the Sky, I think. And I think there will be a different formula. I mean, we got the Strange, but we didn't get the higher version of the drink. Like, you know how you got the Yachen Strange lower tier, and then you got the Jingcao drink? But this patch didn't come with the second tier of the Jingcao. So I feel like the next patch will introduce the second tier of that drink. Which I wonder if the formula will be complicated or not. And then will they do something else? Next patch might introduce Cuprium Liquid. It'll be funny if they, you know how like the current patch, the Cuprium stuff, one of it has the output of the inert uh Circon or something like that. I can't remember the inert thing, and then you have to treat it. I wonder if they'll do something with it. Like I'm really so surprised that sewage got included in the formula for the battery. That makes me wonder like they could be very playful with it in the future formulas and then make something very messy. The inner is useless at the moment, but that's what we thought of sewage. So the fact that even sewage has use is impressive. Will they introduce new gear sets? New fertilizer sounds possible. Like a more convenient fertilizer. Maybe they will do something about it. Like perhaps treating the sewage to turn into a fertilizer might be something they can do. New gear stats will surely be added. I'm not sure. A part of me says I don't think they'll add sets. You know, like how the current patch introduced new gear to the same set, just with different stats. I think that might happen for the next patch. That it might be like the last set of like gears of a certain stat mixture, maybe into the next one. We're still missing two outposts in Wuling, you see, which makes me wonder like how are they going to play with it. What about non-set gears, which they also did introduce in the previous patch, right? Maybe you're wishing for new weapon down the line. Yeah, I really want a new weapon type as well. I'm with you. I'm with you. I really want them to like. Okay, if they slam 1.2 with the announcement that they introduced Gauntlet for Mifu's sake, I will cream. Because that makes me very excited for whatever that can happen in the future of the game. Like a weapon debut in the live stream where they announce we are now adding alternative gauntlet that can be an off-banner pool. We're introducing Battle Pass gauntlet. We're introducing main weapon gauntlet. We're introducing 4-star gauntlet. All this in one patch, I'll be very happy. Because that also means that there's a chance that they can introduce future weapons. But I have a feeling Mifu will still use a weapon. And then her skills changes like the animation from not equipping the weapon to a fist is what I think will happen. So that makes it kind of boring if that's the case. But Mifu really doesn't like Mifu doesn't come across as a character that will hold a weapon to me. So I kind of wish they played with that and don't make her like wield a sword. Like the most likely weapon for her I am foreseeing is a sword. But I don't want that. Range physical dealer? I mean, range physical, sometimes the guns are physical and not arts. It might be like Levitating, where she switched to the Great Sword from her ult. It's still her weapon at the end of the day. Yeah. Imagine if they introduce oil as a liquid. There should be one more new material type that will exist in the coming patch, I feel. My gut feeling at least. Like this patch introduced Cuprium. I think there's probably gonna be one more thing that we will see in Wuling. Liquid sounds possible, but I don't know why would it be oil, because you can't really drain the oil, per se, oil mining. Is Cuprium liquid a thing? No, right? We didn't liquidize Cuprium in this patch, right? I can't remember. We liquidized Serenite, but we didn't liquidize Cuprium. They could liquidize the existing materials to do something. Because the whole thing about Wuling is liquid. And I'm sure that in the future patches, when they introduce new regions, the mechanic of the base is going to be completely different. Like, when Wuling is all about liquids, I foresee that a place like Yersh, which is the ice cold land of Enfield, I'm quite sure that they will play with the mechanic of the freezing stuff. Like your machines can freeze over, you need a heater. Um, Maybe you use the fact that it's cold in order to solidify something instead. Um, and I'm quite sure that in other places, solar power can be a thing, right? They might make that happen. Um, Dry lands and whatnot. Like there will be new mechanics that they'll introduce from region to region to make it more fun. If you go into Origin Science Park, there's actually a picture of all the ore, but there's actually still one that's not in the game yet. Oh. That'll be interesting. Yeah. I think during the day of the patch live stream, I will be watching with you guys, but I won't start the stream like on dot sorry, on the dot. I will watch earlier so that we can, get all hype and talk about the things that we want to see. Um I do think that they will try to give a lot of pools in this patch, I feel. Because they should have noticed that free to play players really have a hard time to get all the characters right now. Even pay to play players, like both sides of the coin, are not doing well in terms of like trying to attain the characters easily. So I foresee that they will introduce more. Um, if they make a big overhaul to the gacha system, like I'm sure the whole commentary about making past characters all off banners, like for example putting Levity into an off banner pool. Like I'm someone who perpetuates that, but I kind of think I'm not alone, and maybe there are enough people out there who's all saying the same thing. It's probably on Hypergrade's mind, but I don't know if they dare to do it. I'll be surprised if they do it now. I think it's too early, but it's too early in the sense of like I would be speechless if they announce that, but I don't think it's gonna be now, at least. Um, I wonder if this is the patch that they will talk about how they rerun the characters. That will be very interesting because they did mention that Levitine, Yvonne, and all the other stuff will have their reruns. Is 1.2 the patch that they will start, or are we gonna wait? Like, I don't. Okay, I think it's either gonna be 1.2 or 1.4 that they start to announce how they do reruns. So if we don't hear it in 1.2, I think we'll go two patches without hearing how they rerun the very first banner that is Levitine. So yeah, that should be kinda it in terms of the patch expectations. Two maps to play with. So I do wonder how fun the two maps will be. There will be a riot if Fang Yi is another character that has Gilberta best in slot. I told you guys Gilberta is strong. I told you guys Gilberta is the strongest 6-star right now in the game. It's just the way Gilberta is. When Gilberta released, I don't think people understood how Gilberta is so good. It's just the way she's designed. Anything that gives you utility, and the utility comes with supportive abilities, are good characters in the game. People call my relevancy, like, I did the whole relevancy tier list video in my channel, and I have people in my comments misunderstanding the video and calling it bullshit. But I'm telling you, it's the truth. Like, there are people who hate this. They think this tier list is like the power tier list of Enfield. It's not. I'm telling you how these characters can really last long in the game. Like, Chen, I'm telling you that even in year 3 of Enfield, and Chen, Estella, Gilberta, and Pogranishtik will probably still be heavily considered in people's teams. It's not to say that they are the most powerful characters. It's, oh hey, look, new 6-star release. Who are you gonna put with them? Gilberta over Tang Tang? Tang Tang will stay in the game for quite some time. Also, like if I added, okay, well, let's finish the tier list. You guys get a special treat because this is what it is. Okay. Uh, if I add Tang Tang and Rossi now, they will. No, actually, I think Tang Tang will be in the highest tier list. My guess is Tang Tang will stay relevant even in year 3 Enfield, which means that she will be on top. I think Rossi. I'm less confident about Rossi than I am for Tang Tang. I think Rossi will be below in the second bar. but it's still high. Like second bar means to say that they probably can actually last 3 years. But I think they would be less like fittable than people. Yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna fight against people who say that Rossi should be more relevant than Tang Tang. It is my opinion that I think Tang Tang's kit just looks more possible in multiple teams than Rossi does. So yeah, I don't think I'll change anything though. Like now that we've played the game for quite a bit, like will I still put all those people in the danger tier? I think so. I'm feeling really scared for Alesh. Like Alesh and Catcher, I think are gonna fall into the don't last now that I see the new characters and I think about their kit more. Um, I think Fluorite will still stay in the danger zone, and I think Last Ride will still stay in the danger zone because like right now, yes, Last Ride is a powerful team with Fluorite, Saihi, and whatnot, but it's almost like as if will we actually get a second team for Last Ride that people will want to put her in? Even Last Ride? No, there's a difference here, guys. Yes, Last Ride has one of the most satisfying team right now, being Last Ride, Tang Tang, Fluorite, and Saihi. But this might be the last team you see of her. It's the what I'm saying is my bet is Last Ride, current team, might just be the first and last team you see of her. That is why I put her in the danger zone. It's the same for Fluorite. There's a chance that this is the first and last team you see Fluorite in. I could be wrong. They could release someone that actually makes Last Ride feel good to use because maybe they have an easier cryo applicator and then an easier buffer than Saihi, for example. No, but then again, that doesn't change it. Because if someone's a direct replacement of Saihi, that's still the same team. I think Last Ride's team is almost at its peak. I think so too. Almost at its peak. No, then in this case, no, my comment is I think Last Ride's team is already peaked. I think this is the best Last Ride team you'll ever see. And I think it's the end. Because I feel like in the future, the cryo teams will probably still use Tang Tang. Might still use Fluorite, but I doubt. Probably will still have Saihi, but I don't think we'll have Last Ride. Unless for some reason they release a cryo character that uses less stacks than Last Ride does. Like one of the reasons why you don't see Yvonne and Last Ride in the same team is because they both use stacks. Like Yvonne uses stacks to charge her ultimate, Last Ride uses stacks to end all the stacks and deal big damage. If they release a character where it says uses 2 cryo stacks but doesn't actually use it up, meaning the stacks still stay, then I think there's a chance that Last Ride will regain some relevancy. But I kind of doubt that will happen. And so I think Last Ride will just stay down. You feel like people misunderstood the meaning of longevity and power. Yeah, I think so too. I think a sizable proportion of people who watch this video totally misunderstand what I'm trying to say in this video. And people hate this tier list. People think of this tier list as like, oh, you think Last Ride is shit, but look at her million damage. But my point of the video is not talking about the million damage. My point is, are you gonna use her like next year? I don't think you might. I think something is gonna replace her very easily. Yvonne will still be more relevant than Last Ride because because Yvonne at least still has a solidification reaction, which is very good at freezing enemies. And Snowshine is very good at countering stuff in this game, which is why she'll still stay there. I'm glad that I put Levity in okay, because when I did the tier list, I put Levity in danger. But now that I play Levity a bit more, and her ability to steal stacks, I think is quite interesting, because I proved that in the recent Umbral Monument. So I think that mechanic makes her stay okay. I might pull Ember down to danger because I'm really starting to not understand how will Ember not get power crap by a different defender in the future. Like as soon as they introduce a defender that is also an applicator or a support DPS, I don't think Ember will last. It's almost like saying if they introduce 6-star Snowshine, but it's not cryo, and like maybe it's like nature infliction or something, and then also parries and defend. I think Ember will fall. So perhaps that's another thing that I'll change. That I think Ember will go down into the danger list. Ember just need a CC content we can cheese with her. No, but when you can cheese with a parry, you don't use Ember that much. You kind of just use Snowshine. The only way for Ember to, I guess, be the considered choice is if the CC content specifically says enemies take stagger more easily. Like the dungeon, like the farming dungeon, there's the one that says uh the stagger node it gets triggered more easily. Then that's why you use Ember a lot. Because she's the best at that right now. But also I feel like someone else will exist in the future. So yeah. I want to put Adelia in danger, but because there's no proper nature setups right now, I guess the ambiguity of nature teams keeps Adelia there. Arclights being the fastest combo keeps her there as well. That she will stay in the OK zone. And Enta will still stay in the OK zone just because I'm glad that Run E was a boss that had no other enemies around. Because Marble Agglomori had the tentacles. Trigolos had the smaller mod spawning. I do wonder if they will try to release more singular enemy type. Because singular enemy types kind of reminds me of Nier Automata a bit. A lot of Nier Automata's boss fights are singular. And that will still keep Ento very relevant because that's his superiority. Longest buff time against one enemy. Which is why I put him in OK. And then I think I'm pretty confident on Wolfguard, Li Feng, Dapan, and Hikuri. Yeah. There should be more gameplay that uses the slow and the pace mechanic, I feel. Like, I think it's cool that Tang Tang has the slow mechanic, which also buffs Fluoride, if you didn't know. Because Fluoride does more damage to slow enemies. There probably will be more people like that in the future that deals more damage because of a certain status that is applied onto the enemy. I wouldn't be shocked if they release a character that says deals more damage if a different element is applied on an enemy. So, for instance, if the enemy um what am I trying to say? For instance, if the person is a heat damage dealer, but if the enemy has a nature currently on it, apparently the heat dealer will deal more damage because of the different element. I don't think this will happen now, but I can see that happening in the future. One more thing, I wonder if they dare to release a KOB. Isn't that what Gilberta Out does? Yeah, Gilberta's Out uses vulnerable, right? Um, I think that's just more with the physical and the arts interaction. It's quite cool that they already have that. I mean it more in terms of like arts and arts. They've not released a character like that yet. Um, yeah, I wonder if they will release a KOB in this game. KOB was seen as one of the weaker 6-stars in Arknights because people didn't really understand the idea of a character that deals more arts damage relative to the enemy's defense. And right now in this game, we don't have high resistance, like for physical resistance, element resistance. We are going to start to see enemies where I think the next patch will be the first time that we see enemies with more significant B resistance type, where like it says heat resistance is B electric resistance be, that kind of thing, and then there's an actual clear cut witness. So I do wonder if they will do something like, if enemy has higher physical resistance, deal more heat damage relative to that. That will be very interesting, which makes me think that the casual players and the players of other games will not understand shit about this character on first glance, but then the AK players will look at it and be like, POV has arrived. So yeah. Who's gonna be the next Patriot for Showcase? Well, we will get a Patriot-like boss in Enfield. Rundy almost feels like it, but it's a bit stupid because you disable it by grabbing balls. We don't have an enemy that makes corrosion feel significant yet. Rodent is not Patriot. When we say that, we mean it as like an enemy that is so resistant to a lot of damage types. I do wonder if they'll do it. Well, I just got a good idea of an enemy that they should do. They should release a phantom-like enemy. Or a phantom-like boss. I think that would be very silly and fun. Imagine if you have a boss that when it uses this skill, it spawns into like 4 ghosts, and you have to hit the correct one in order to make it go back to its original. But the longer you take more damage because all 4 phantoms are hitting you at once. Hypergriff, I just gave you a concept idea. Take it. Okay? Don't need to credit me. That would be fun, I think, as a boss concept in a 3D game. Right? It feels less silly than grabbing balls. It's at least like a stressful thing to do. 4? Yeah, and then afterwards, like, I don't know, release a harder condition and say spawn 6 phantoms instead. Do I think there'll be an infliction immune enemy? Yes. Yes, there will. 100%. Why not? I'm sure this game dares to do it. There will probably be enemies because of the third Umbral Monument, where it disabled SP regen and it disabled dodge. I totally foresee that they will have stages in the future that specifically says inflictions of vulnerability wear off faster. That's one thing that will happen. So like, you know how when you don't use your current stacks, they actually go away after some time? I'm quite sure there will be a condition that states it will just disappear faster if you don't use it. Which means your timing of the skills becomes very important. Like, you don't just spam and then wait and then make it useless. And then I do also think that they will have perhaps something that says either immune to infliction or immune to certain inflictions. Like, for example, they could be like, for every infliction you put, the second one will be disabled. So the latest Umbro already has that he ate your infliction. Yeah, but no, in this case, it's a different thing. It's wearing off faster. Every infliction the enemy got, it applies back to you. A reflect damage enemy. I can totally see that happening. Not early game though. I think that's gonna happen in the later game. Where if an enemy, like when you have a certain stack on an enemy, like if you have vulnerable or if you have like 2 cryo stacks, if you don't do something, the cryo stacks gets back onto you. Type of thing. I can totally see that occurring. I think Enfield just has a lot of potential in the enemy design sphere, which, like, I see people hating. There's a definite big disparity between people who love the recent Umbral Monument and hate the recent Umbral Monument. For me, I love it because it instills a lot of confidence in me that they will do a good job with the difficulty aspect of the game. Like, I do truly think they have the capability of creating some really good challenges for this game. Then the question just becomes, will you feel paywall to complete the challenge? If you don't feel paywall, that's good. You like how they slowly ramp up the difficulty? I hope 1.2 will be an exponential curve in difficulty. I think 1.2 should dare to do that. I feel. Because even if people hate it, then people will just surface it in the survey. And like maybe they'll learn to tweak it. I'd rather they have some balls and just do it. It almost feels like the third Umbral Monument is them having balls to do something messy. They need to increase exploration level. Okay, I know. Okay, oh yeah, one last. Let's close off on this conversation before I film the next video, and then we'll watch the JP live stream, which is in 2 hours. They probably will increase the world exploration level in 1.2. I foresee. I think our player level will go from 60 to 70 in this new patch, because if you guys have been playing the game daily, and if you have monthly card, which I have monthly card, uh, I've already hit level 60. I've hit the cap in the game. So I foresee that the cap for the player level should go up. And then I think the world level will go up for this one, which is gonna be nice. At least the enemies won't stay at level 60 anymore. The enemies will go to level 70, which is not bad. At least it's something. Yeah. There's a live stream today. There's a JP live stream today for Arknights. Silver Ash Altar and Premonix Altar will be announced today. Okay. Let's use this time to film the Arknights. This is what I'm gonna film next. Arknights Endfield is not the grindiest gacha game. Can someone tell me what's a good website to show the amount of materials that you need to use to build characters in Endfield? Like, what's a good website that calculates that? I need the screen to show people that you do not need to collect all the rare materials. Otherwise, I'm gonna say numbers out of my ass. What stream today? I'm referring to this stream. This. We will watch this later. My ready is body. I love that. I'm entering Enfield. No new VAs. Who are the VAs? Chen, Aya, Lumen, and Gnosis. Sad don't have the budget to call the Sylvash VA down. Could have. They had all the opportunity to call the Sylvash VA down. Would have made the stream nice.
Arknights.
No Pinecone? Yeah, no Pinecone. This is what? Only one level 90 unit? Only one? That's not what I'm concerned about, leh. I'm concerned about every. No, I need a website. Can you hear the game? Oh. Yeah. Enfield tools. Let me go check.
Entering core AIC area.
Essence solver, achievement tracker. No, what am I looking for? I'm looking for like a like a building sheet of some sort. Ascension planner, is that it? Wait. Can I see the full list? Ah, okay. Okay, you see this right now that I'm showing you guys here. You see how this says it needs 96 Black Cat, 88 Cosmogaric. So you take a look at my inventory now. Yeah. So this is to build every character in the game, by the way. Every. Yeah. Because half the units in this game... Okay, wait. I need to add the other side of people. I just realized this might be missing the newest characters. "25 characters in this game. So this is all 25 characters. It uses 104 Blood Cat, and it uses 96 Cosmogaric. So you see, you take a look at my materials right now. I have 120 Cosmogaric, and I have 112 Blood Cat. You will reach a stage that you do not need to collect this anymore. You simply do not need to collect. Then if we go into the skills territory, can I see the skills? Oh shit, do I have to click on every one of them? It's annoying. Can the Endfield planner make this easier for me? Oh. There's a reason why skill masteries is harder than skill masteries is harder than the mushrooms right now. If you take a look at the, like, just for 2 characters alone that I've placed, this is 116 for False Agalia. But you can see that I don't have enough False Agalias. I only have 505, and this is only for 2 characters, which is why the new map that they did in Timbo Stockade has these 2 specific materials. So mushrooms will be the first thing that you stop collecting. The Igneosite and the Uling Stone, which is for the weapons, will be the second thing that you stop collecting. And then Mastery materials will be the third. And the Mastery materials will take some time. So it means that your priority of collection in the future will just be on these 2. And it's very likely that the next few maps will still release these materials as a collection point. So, yeah. Until you need to collect Level new characters, always good to collect when you're passing by. Yeah, but what I mean to say is that people just need to realize that they need to stress less in this game when it comes to collecting stuff. So let me just decide on the order of things that I want to show to people. So one is the materials that I want to highlight in the video. I think I just want to show how easy it is to complete the missions. I think I'll do one assemble gear once and give a gift. And that's the fastest, right? Give, gear, log out. It's so fast. 10-second action. And people tell me this game daily is long as shit.
Surprise, Enderman! I picked.
It's only 1 minute? Bro, it's less than 1 minute. You can speed run. No. Here's the thing. I'll tell you why people are complaining. So people are complaining in this game because the point they're trying to make here is about the outposts. Okay? So you just let me sell the outpost for now, yeah? Okay, so a lot of people are freaking out over the outposts because you have to sell, you have to do your depot node, you have to do your stocks. You're listening to this perhaps for the first time through me doing this before I film my video. Look at Valley 4, yeah? What the frick are you buying with your outpost money? I mean this like strictly and also genuinely. What are you buying? By now, if people had played this game every single day, you would have bought all the limited time stuff. Okay? You don't need to buy detectors anymore. You're done. You've already completed. Sure, you wanna buy gift, but at a certain point, you're also done 100%ing everybody. Like you're also done like giving everyone trust. And then you don't really need the food. No, and then I know what you guys are gonna say. Buy this. You need to buy this. Brother, look at how many I have. I have 167. Each time you spend the ticket, one ticket already consumes 80 sanity. How do I spend this? No. You cannot exhaust this easily. You will reach a point of the game that even this doesn't matter. Then people will be saying, then isn't the depot node and the stock redistribution pointless? The whole point of it is just to speed up you getting the bills. That's it. Even if you didn't do it, it's fine. You'll be slower than other people, but will you reach a point where you bought everything that you need in the store? Yes. If you concentrated on doing depot node diligently every day and also doing the redistribution, selling it at very high prices every single day, you are faster at reaching where I am now than other people are. And that just means to say for other people, like if you've been stressing, don't stress, just ignore it. You see the point I'm getting? Like, there's nothing to buy. That's all. It's all for speed up. I cannot spend this. I have 30 million stock bills. I genuinely can't use it anymore. You hope that they update this so that there are other things to buy? No, they won't. I need to give you all the shocking news. They will not update this. The game specifically says that they will not update this. all the credits in the depot. At some point, you can't give a shit about it. If you want to be sensitive, you can. You all need to... If you all didn't know, when the third region is released, your first region, you can only operate 2 regions when you're offline. If you're hearing this for the first time, let me explain to you. When they release the third map, you need to set up for your account. So the way they route this is that your newest map will be, like your current most progressed map, will be the first one that operates automatically. And then the second one will be your most recently visited. Or whatever that you choose, basically. Which means to say, Valley 4 is useless. They will not update it. They will shut down Valley 4 later in the game. And it's fine. They can shut it down. Because there just isn't a need to use it. Maybe get a Valley 4 event in 5 years? Maybe. But even then, you have enough stock builds to like account for it. What's the point to build the factory in other regions? For fun. For new materials. For new components. For new gear. So this, what I also mean to say is, the whole idea that you have to perfect a base, where like, people are sweating about, oh, you need 18 per minute, 12 per minute. Actually, in truth, you don't. There's nothing wrong with your base not being optimal. A lot of people copy blueprints, sweat the shit out of it, and stress and complain that without it, they can't enjoy the game. Because they'll be slow whatsoever. But the thing is, like, if you're slower than other people, and even if you don't have an optimal setup, you will reach a point where you've bought everything. Some people will buy everything out in the span of 2 months. If you're slower and behind, maybe you'll only do it in 3 months or 4 months, but that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. And like, when you build the factory and stuff, the different regions provide certain components for your gears, right? Like for example, this current region that we're in, it uses the Cyronite, well, the Cyronite component, and then there's also the Kuprian component, right? At a certain, like, you just do it once. You max it out. In the future, you will have no problems with building more. You will never need to re-explore this formula again once you have kept it out. So, there's like genuinely nothing much to worry about within this game. When it comes to the essence farming of this game as well, I also want to point out that there's also nothing to sweat. Because like, when people see like perfect essences and stuff, where for example this one I have a perfect essence for Razorhorn, I have a perfect essence for Opus, I have a perfect essence for Delivery, right? People need to understand that maybe you have a weapon that you're aiming for, and it takes quite a while for you to get that perfect essence, but in your process of getting that perfect essence, one, you might have scored a perfect essence for a different weapon that you own, and then you cared less about, but it's good for collection's sake, because you're completing the collection. And then the second thing is, even if you have bad essences, they're just materials for you to etch. You don't lose. Your non-perfect essence are literal materials. Why do you think it's so bad that you don't get the perfect essence? Like, once you get the perfect essence, what's your next step? You need non-perfect essence to feed to it. Right? So, there is nothing wrong with the way that essences are. And it's the same for gear artificing. So, another thing about gear artificing in this game is that Wuling, right now, has this. And people will say that Wuling's most precious... Like, by the way, Wuling has the same problem. How the frick are you going to spend all these engraving permits? You simply can't. And the thing is, these things might feel very precious, right? Yes, they are the things that help you to get your gear artificing done. I would say yes, right now, at the current point, you need to buy. But here's also another thing. While people are sweating the the Wuling stock builds right now, I need to remind people that number one, You only have one depot node right now in the game. Which is also the depot node that gives the least bills. It's super likely that Wuling has 2 more. We're probably gonna see the second one in patch 1.2. And you only have 1 outpost. The other 2 hasn't appeared yet. So like, when those 2 appear, you'll be speedrunning your purchases on this thing. You will probably buy out all the catalysts that you want. And at a certain point, just like Valley 4, you will overcap. You will end up being able to buy it all out. So, is there any other aspects that you don't have to worry about in this game? Yeah, like one day you're gonna stop doing the environmental monitoring. One day you're gonna stop doing the depot node. Like, it's all just eventually you're gonna deal with it. You think all of us in chat agree that my words aren't reaching to those who need it? Yeah, I agree, I agree. My videos can sometimes get produced, but it gets lost in the source and no one actually knows. You're not sure if they'll run out of catalysts if they keep increasing the price? No, but it refreshes! What are you talking about? Darling, it refreshes! The price is not the problem! When you get the stock redistribution level 4, you're gonna get this at minus 80%. You're probably gonna get the 0% one. You'll just get more quantity. Yeah, it'll be more expensive, but hey, right now the cap for this is 9.6 million. What is Valley 4's cap? Valley 4's cap is 30 million. They will make sure that you tally such that you will have the generation to buy all the catalysts. And here's another thing. You don't need infinite of these things. When they release the new region will probably come with new gear sets. So like, let's just assume that the next new region is La Phantoma, right? La Phantoma might come with like 10 new gear sets in a singular patch. But La Phantoma's gears will not use this Wuling Artificing Crystal or Catalyst. La Phantoma will end up using La Phantoma Artificing Catalyst. So by the time Wuling comes to an end, no matter the pace that you are, it's very likely that everybody are overcapping on literally everything. The engraving permit, the catalyst, you might be done with whatever you need to do. So, the whole point of this video that I want to make is chill. The game has like, I don't understand when people say the game feels like a chore. I'm now telling you, you can ignore everything. Genuinely, you hate the depot node, ignore it. You hate the stock redistribution, ignore it. You don't have to check this every day. I still check on Valley 4 for fun. I just don't need to do it anymore. Like, I hope that people can understand it when they watch this video. Okay, I want to figure the order of this video. If you hate the game, don't play. Yes. True. You have like 1k of every stock almost. I also have. I'm also hoarding like 1k of every stock. Like, actually, the problem with this game is that, number one, this is not the grindiest game. If anything, I think this is the least grinding game that I've seen in the 3D gacha space. And then, I think Endfield has a completely different problem. Which is, there's nothing to do. Everything that you thought you need to do is artificially inflicted on yourself. So, yeah, that's kind of it. No, but the solution doesn't mean the game should be more grindy. It's already good that the game has no grind. Because if you think about the case of AK is not a very grindy game. With the whole finally adding sweep and everything, right? Like you clear a stage once, you're done. That's it. But because there's no grind in AK, you can then allocate some of your free time to play the other permanent game modes like IS, RA, and whatnot. Endfield doesn't have that. Endfield actually has no grind. Then the problem is, then what do you do with your time? There's nothing to do. Okay, I need to figure out how I film this video. Not the easiest thing to pull off. I don't think I'll be perfect with the things that I say, so I might want to keep saying things. I should go to the toilet. I feel like when I started this, I wanted to go to the toilet and I didn't. Yeah? Reply to my messages. Okay. You like more flexible grinding? Like more weekly stuff instead of daily stuff? Feels like a better direction. No, like grinding for pools. Grinding for pools feels worthwhile. This game doesn't have it. Can I zoom? Oh, I can. Okay. I slowly filmed this video. Yeah, I do need the toilet. Let me go toilet and then come back. Oh, I hope I do this video properly. I mean, this is a very important and significant video for Enfield. One point two will just be story, QL, and one outpost. I don't think it'll be as simple as that. Like, there will be new base formula, probably. As I said, I think there will be the second tier of Jing's Hao, which I wonder how interesting to make that. I foresee that they might add just a few more gear sets, but it probably still uses Cuprium component. And then, not gear sets, sorry, gear pieces. I do wonder if 1.2 will celebrate with a new weapon type. That's my guess. And then there will be a brand new depot node in 1.2. Stocks probably won't increase. It will probably still stay at level 3. And at least the outpost will increase, like, also to level 3. So I guess you get 2 outpost defense stages to play. I feel I'll be so drained if they still stick to the whole... Like, I hope that they be a bit more playful with the jet drone puzzles. Because that's the whole mechanic of Wuling, right? Jet drone, draining, water, things like that. I wonder what they will do. They will have new Cuprium mines. They will have new Forge of the Sky. Yeah, outposts will cap at level 3. Disiang probably won't get the update. If Disiang gets an update, I'll be surprised. Not impossible, I'll just be surprised. Disiang will probably get the QOL update, which is you can collect everything at once rather than one by one. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think they might test a game mode in 1.2. As in, I don't think 1.2 will have a permanent thing, but I feel like 1.2 might come with something seasonal. Like, not guaranteed seasonal, it's just like they're gonna try it and then it's gonna go away. So I'm almost meaning to say, like, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if there's like a CC beta in 1.2 type of game mode. Like, it won't be CC, it might be some kind of variant, but like, it would be a nice start to have something like that in Enfield. One point two might have another Umbriel. I don't think 1.2 will have another Umbriel. 1.2 will have a major boss. 2 mess cannot go without a major boss. There will be a major boss fight. It should be the hardest boss to date. That's my prediction. Should be harder than Agglomore. Okay. Let's see how I order this video, okay? Like, I might do it badly, I might do it wrong, so we'll find out. Wait, actually no. Just to make sure that I don't screw it up royally, let me write some notes. So I can remind myself exactly where I'm going with this video. I'm gonna discuss the daily task first. And then afterwards I'm gonna show the outpost. And Comes back home. Oh, that makes my video making life harder. That makes my video making life harder. Okay. And then, so I'm going to talk about daily tasks first, then depot notes, stock redistribution, outpost, what do you actually need to buy. Then you guys pointed out that depot note gives credit, but not that much. Have any of you gotten lazy with credits? I get lazy sometimes. Like, you know the friend credits? Where you can sometimes randomly get like 20 arsenal or 20 barrel. I get lazy. Okay, I've ordered the list of things that I'm talking about in the game. Okay. Ready to film, everyone? I will ignore the fact that my mom is walking around in the background. Except for the main cam. I hope he doesn't appear in the main cam, but we'll see. Sometimes, right? Time to time, if my family appears in the background, I'll get random comments asking who the hell is there. People get like really curious about it, to the point that it feels weird. But like, too bad, guys. I stream in the living room. Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about Endfield grind, everyone. This is for the sake of a YouTube video. Right. Oh wait, I just remembered. No. There's one more thing. I need to start the video with the line that low light specifically says you don't have to farm the you know the part where he says you don't have to pick up on the recyclable materials? Yeah, I need to start from there.
号和现在的房间升至最高等级的管理员们，那即使回收站的远程收取功能还没有时装，那各位管理员也不用担，那所以我们的各类资源，这里还需要和各位管理员额外。那在递降号的总控台管理员也可以快速安排干员从事生产活动，一键收取线索和各类资源。
I need to start the video from here. Okay. Is Enfield the grindiest gacha game that we have ever seen? It's one of the biggest complaints that I see online where people say that the grind takes really very long, and then you start having a debate, a fight about no, it's not true. Enfield has maybe no grind. Let's debunk that once and for all in this video, where I need to send the main messaging. You guys need to stop stressing about the things that you're doing in this game, and I'll prove it to you within this video. We'll start off here with this devlog stream that we had for patch 1.1, where Lowlight, the main head director for this game, said this about the aerospace materials.
这里啊，还需要和各位管理员额外说明，目前啊，我们的地将号和各个房间暂时不会开放更高等级的升级，所以对于已经将地将号和现在的房间升至最高等级的管理员们，那即使啊回收站的远程收取功能还没有时装，那各位管理员啊也不用担心未来需要升级而去囤积大量航天材料了，不用每天花费额外时间去回收站收取了。那我们。
So the whole point that they're saying here is that in the future, aerospace materials doesn't need you to physically go to the station itself to collect it, and instead you can remotely collect them, even like from the map itself. And he's telling you right now that you don't actually have to claim it every day. You will have enough aerospace materials to improve on your Dijiang in the future of Enfield. And that was a big shock for a lot of the players, but that's just amazing that Endfield allows you to do that, and it's not just going to be on the aerospace materials. So let's start off by discussing on the daily task of this game. Why is Lowlight still on my screen? I have no idea. Here you go, I have Endfield on the stream. Okay, now, when it comes to the daily tasks of this game, you see, if you log into the game, you get 20 points. People are complaining that it takes a lot of time for you to complete them, but it's not really true because if you take a look at this, I can just interact with Chen. Over here, I offer a gift. I'm just going to give her this gift. That gives me 40 points. I'm just going to go into the screen, go to gear assembly. I'm just going to construct one random gear. And then, look at that. Look at my daily points. Boom. 20, 40, 40, 100. I'm done. I log out of the game, guys. Like, why would you say that the daily task takes a lot of time? That just took me less than 30 seconds and I'm already out. Of course, maybe you have to spend your sanity and stuff. We'll talk about that later on. Now, the biggest thing that people would then say is that, hey, Enfield needs you to do a lot of other things. Like, for example, look at your depot, right? You have to do your depot note, you have to do your stock redistribution, make sure that you give it all away, check in and look at the price of every single stock, and then in your outpost as well. Well, the thing about outposts is that you don't have to sell every day, right? It can take you 3 days in order to fully stock them up. But some of you do it daily in order to make sure that you meticulously get your goods out. And the question that I have to you guys is, what do you actually need to buy with the valley stock bills that you have gotten? If you take a look at my own current account right now, I have 29 million stock bills. And you'll be thinking, what? You're almost stocking it all up. You have to spend. What the heck am I buying? Because I've already bought every limited time stuff that this game has to offer, right? And I'm left with the replenishable materials. Some of you might say, buy gifts. But you will reach a certain point of the game where you have more than enough gifts to make sure that all your units are 200% trust. Detectors, at a certain point you have collected every chest, you have collected every Aureline, so why would you buy them? Maybe you buy on food, but even then food can be self-produced, self-collected, and then you say, no, you must always buy the Valley Engraving Permit, which I agree, you want to stock up on some of them. But take a look at the number of engraving permit that I've had thus far in 2 months of this game. I have 167 Valley Engraving Permit. And whenever you use these engraving permits, each one of them costs 80 sanity. How long is it going to take for me to burn away this amount of engraving permit? Like, I can still buy more, I can buy 25 more, 24 more, and every week I still just buy new ones, but at a certain point this is just way too much in order for me to actually farm out all the essences. And you will be able to get all the essences that you need in order to build your units that you want. So when you take a look at the essences of this game, which is also something that people complain about, people tend to complain that the essences takes a long time for you to get perfect ones. And I have some perfect ones right now in my account. Like for example, if you take a look at this is equipped for Razor Horn, this is equipped for Delivery Guarantee, and stuff like that. When you are chasing for a perfect essence, perhaps for a new character you pull along with their weapon, you might feel down that you didn't get the perfect essence easily, but in your process of doing that, it's very likely that you've collected a perfect essence for a different weapon. Maybe you care less about it, but you don't realize that for collection's sake, you're already doing a good job at that. And even if you get bad essences, so what if you don't get your perfect essence on the first try and you got it in your 20th try? When you etch the essence in order to improve on their abilities, you still need non-perfect essences to feed to it. So it's all in all in the process of still improving on the essence. So this just means to say that eventually everything will fall into place for you. So I'm just going to get out of this essence stuff and pull back on the stock bills matter, which is because I have 30 million now and I simply don't need to buy this, I've essentially completed Valley 4. I genuinely have nothing left to buy. And that just means to say that depot node, stock redistribution, who cares? I could just ignore them. And then some of you will say, if it's that pointless, why would you do it? Well, from the beginning of the game, the first month into the second, for a lot of us, we're doing this because you are speeding up your rate of getting the stock bills. And in that case, it means that you can get all the limited time stuff like much faster than other people would. But it doesn't matter if a person is falling behind. So what if you're not having the perfect outposts where you can perfectly sell everything in time? So what if you don't check in on your stock redistribution or don't do a single depot node? You might get materials slower than other people, but eventually you will reach a point that you buy just the same amount of important stuff that people have done. And another thing that people kind of need to note is that there won't actually be new stuff for you to be buying in a certain region. So if this comes across as new information for you, then, well, good, I suppose that you're watching this video. But you need to know that your AIC isn't something that works all the time in the future of this game. So if you interact with the protocol management over here, and we take a look at the question mark, it specifically states that when you log off from this game, only 2 regions will operate at a time. The latest one that you unlock, and another region that you just recently visited. And then for all the other regions, they will shut off. So this means to say that when the third region of this game appears, Valley 4 will not be generating anymore. Which some of you say, oh my goodness, that's a terrible thing. Why would they do that? But the thing is, because they won't add all that much new stuff, Valley 4 can actually just stay unoperational. And in that case, you can be more concentrated to all the newer stuff, where it's going to be important for you to get the newer materials that can appear then as well. So, of course, some people might then point out that Depot Node, for instance, gives friend credits, and that's why you want to do it. But it's only going to give you so many friend credits, and you kind of don't have to sweat it. If you want to, you could, but otherwise you can ignore it. Same for like checking in on your friends in order to get the friend credits that you want. Like some of you might feel pretty particular. You want to make sure that you do all of your crew exchanges, but it depends on how lazy you are. Like how much do you value the fact that you collect all the 20 Oro Bells and 20 Arsenal? If you're free to play, I totally understand that you want to keep collecting it. But if you want to be lazy about it because you feel like it's a pain to do it, I think it's all that fine. Like really, you don't have to add that much stressor on yourself. So outposts isn't something to stress about. You should just do it at your own pace. It's not meant to be a chore that you must always be clicking on that screen all the time. Then you might suggest to me that, hey, I still have to collect all my materials. Now the good thing in this game is the materials recharge every 4 days. So you can do it at the end of the 4 days, right? And then go run around, use your zip line and stuff. If you notice, in my Valley 4 map, I don't even have a single zip line that lines up all the rare materials. Because there is something very unique about this game. Now, I need you to take a look at my own inventory over here. So, if you take a look at my Cosmo Garrick and my Blood Cat, which is the one that helps you to E4 the units in this game, I currently have 123 Cosmo Garrick and I have 112 Blood Cat, right? I'm going to show you all a different website from here, and that is the Endfield tools. So I've actually calculated every current character in this game, so all 25 up until Rossi. And look at the number of Blood Cap and Cosmo Garrick that you need in order to E4 every single one of them, right? 104 Blood Cap, 96 Cosmo Garrick. Hopefully, you are going to reach a certain point in the game where, one, you don't need to collect these materials anymore. You can collect excess, sure, for future units. But you're going to collect so much excess to a point that you really don't require the time to invest of collecting them. You also don't even need to build them in your growth chamber anymore. The one material that will still take some time, which is the reason why the new map Tingbo Stockade has them, is going to be the skill mastery. So if you notice, I've only set this on 2 characters, being Ardelia and Min. So to M3 every single one of their skills, including the first one, is going to take me 168. And if I just go back into the game right now and take a look at the number of False Agalia I have, I only have 505. So if you're thinking what's the important thing to build in your growth chamber right now, it would be the skills. Your mushrooms will cap out the fastest in this game. And if you are going to build every single weapon in this game, then the next one that will cap out is going to be the mineral ores, or like the rare minerals basically. These skill plants, they will take the longest time, and it's very likely that when they release new maps of Wuling, there will be new rare gatherable sites specifically for these 2 things to help it speed up. But as mentioned, one day you ignore them because you will have more than enough. The truthful thing that you will need to keep spending your time on will be just your sanity, where you need to spend them on all these sanity gated stuff like T credits, your protoprisms, your protodisc. These things, you would require them. These are a bit of the time gators. But even then, you don't have to use your sanity daily. Like, I think one of the best parts of this game, which for some reason some people argue to me that it's not good, is that you can spend your sanity once every 2 days. You don't have to stress with the fact that you have to play the dungeon exactly on the first day. You can do it on the second. It would be nice if they introduce auto farm in the future, and again, you just do that once every 2 days. But right now, this is kind of the only truthful thing that consumes your game time. If anything, Endfield doesn't have a problem of it being grindy. As I just showed to you guys, there is no grind in the game. Everything can be ignored. If you want to care about being faster in terms of collecting all the stuff, you can. But log in 30 seconds, do your sanity once every 2 days, even like clearing the dungeon. How long do you take? You guys are taking like 20 seconds, smashing it with your level 80, level 90 team, right? So you'll be done in under 3-4 minutes. The truthful problem that Endfield has is that there's nothing to do in this game. It's a complete different thing. It's not that there's too much things to do. Once you realize that the things you thought you need to do don't matter, then you start to realize there's just nothing going on in the game. And that's a whole different problem that we've got to address. But at the very least, that's not my focus of this video. My focus of this video is to just tell you that there's no grind. So chill out. Enjoy the game. Use this time now to farm your units ever so slowly and needed. Some of you might be bothered with the fact that building units in this game can take very long. And I agree. The investment that you need to level 90 a character, to M3 all of their skills, to get all their talents, is really expensive. But that's if you care very specifically to play a certain specific character. At the very least, as a person who uses monthly card and also own the battle pass, the thing that I'm glad about Endfield is that I've at least allowed myself to level all the characters in the same way. So if you didn't know something special about my account, previously I've run everybody at level 60 skill rank 6, and I've cleared all Umbral Monument. And now, because I've cleared all Umbral Monument from the first patch into patch 1.1, I'm just allowing myself to celebrate by level 70 everyone, and all of their main skills are at skill rank 9. And the game makes it possible for me to do that. And again, you don't need to have high investment in order to enjoy this game. Like, just by having the ability to enjoy every single character, feel the team comms and stuff, slowly build your way through. In the future, we might finally get a time that your level 80 build and level 90 build becomes needed and more appreciated. But for now, take it nice and slow, really. And wait till we finally have something replayable to enjoy in this game. So that's all I'm going to say in this video. Hopefully, you learned something new. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye. Was it good of a film? It's okay, right? you all think that some people appreciate the video? I mean, I think my heart says if at least one person appreciates it, it's more than enough. What's the name of this? You feel like people are getting FOMO by the CCs. Yeah. No, especially all the blueprinting CCs. I don't feel like Blueprint lowered people's enjoyment of the game and not allow people to discover the factory, but people kind of need to realize that you don't have to stress about the factory. Like, who cares if a factory is not optimal? I did skip on the artificing. Oh yeah, I did. Ah yeah, shit. I think I'm gonna edit the video first, and then I'm gonna see if I feel like I need to insert a timestamp in, and then maybe I add an additional filming. Like if I'll watch the video after it's edited, and then I will see what extra points I wanna add or change after that. But thanks for saying that I didn't mention the artificing. I should have. Did I cover on the essence and gear? I cover on the essence. I forgot to cover on the gear. I forgot to cover on the fact that the... You're so right. I needed to cover the fact that when the new region appears, they wouldn't use the artificing crystal. They'll probably have new gear sets. Yeah, I needed to bring that up. Okay, I'll find the timing. I'm not gonna film it now. I'm a bit lazy. I needed to mention that the catalyst will change into whatever the new region is. Okay, I wanted to show you guys this. What is it? Shit, suddenly forgot. What do I want to show you guys? Oh man, yeah. What am I trying to do? What the hell am I trying to do? Yeah, live in an hour, I know. Do I have a favorite character purely on how they play? Tang Tang. Tang Tang is the best character right now in terms of gameplay. Wait, there's something in-game I wanted to show you guys. Why did I forget what it was? Okay, it's phased out of my brain. I genuinely cannot remember what did I want to show you all. But oh else. You still use 1.0 Ulink AIC. You didn't touch the cooking yet. Wait, let me sell my new materials. Let me see if they finally don't overcap. Do they grow faster than the generation? Still seems a bit slow. But I guess I accept it. The only problem with daily giving a gift is that when you have all the plays at 200%, you can no longer give gifts. Why? You guys still want to give gifts in the game? They could introduce that as a QOL in the future, and then maybe give a slight bonus for doing so. But then again, if they give a slight bonus, it will incentivize people to keep doing it. Which makes me wonder, like, should they even introduce that? Because then people will say the chore thing again. Oh my god, I have a thing that I didn't collect. Oh my god. I can't believe me running and hopping around makes me discover a little thing that... Because these things have no scanner, so I actually don't know if I collected everything. Have my thoughts of Rossi changed a bit? No. My thoughts of Rossi has been... I think Rossi is going to be a good character in the future of the game. But I don't think she has the best team right now. It's like Last Ride. Like when Last Ride released, Last Ride didn't have the best team. And I think it's the same situation here. Like, I don't think Rossi is the best team yet. Ling build kind of different from Valley 4 since they come in smaller amounts. No, people forget that Ling builds... Okay, yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I really might have to change certain part of the video when it's edited. I also... thanks for reminding me. I didn't mention that people need to not stress about Ling because you still don't even have the second and third depot node and you haven't got the second and third outposts. Okay, those are... So there's two things missing in my video that I forgot to say. Which means that you seriously don't have to stress. The first depot node is under level, yeah. Did I want to tell you guys? Do I have the chance to? Whatever. Past it. I think it's time for the JP live stream. I might take a time. I'll end the stream for a short little while. And then afterwards, we'll switch to AK. Any pure Endfield players want to join us to watch an AK live stream, even though you don't play Arknights? I promise you it'll be fun. It's always silly to watch an AK live stream, whether it's JP or CN. Oh, nice glide. I couldn't glide for long. What's Enfield? Is that here? I injured my wrist recently. I don't want to do any workout. I still work out, but like, kind of lazy to do a punishment this time around. I kind of want to just enjoy the stream for what it is. You have a stream plan? GP live stream is today. You haven't played AK since Lone Trail. The story got too long to read. I know, but Lone Trail is good though. Oh my god, I triggered the one quest that I haven't started on yet. Do I rest much after workout? Oh, are you guys wondering my own workout, like what I do? I work out daily. I work out daily now. I just genuinely want to not work out anymore in my life. Like, I probably only rest 1 day a week when I work out. Because I think on one part I'm annoyed since I've been working out for 2.5 years. But I tell myself not to be upset at it because like my perspective towards fitness and health is that if you took 4 years to become a bigger size person, like I was never bigger size, but I had I was, what do you call it? I was skinny fat. And I gained all that from like pre-university to into university. So there's a part of me that says, because I'm taking it at my own pace, I should not hate myself for taking the same amount of time to go back. Is my gym far? No. It's very close to my house. I mean, 1, it's at home. 2, it's also not far. Yeah. Better than taking steroids? I will never take steroids. I don't want to. Yeah. Workout should be a permanent lifestyle. But it shouldn't take too much time. Right now, I allow it to take a lot of time for myself because I just want to be faster at growing, I suppose. Because I want to reach a phase of my life where I don't grow anymore. And like maintain where I am. Good thing is muscles take twice as long as when you take the build. Yeah. So maintaining it will be a lot easier. And like, I don't like increasing weights. I don't know, it's tiring. Who cares about PRs and records? I just want to be comfortable when I work out, you know?
We getting buggers?
Yeah.
We'll let
Okay.
this fight easily.
Don't mind me. I'll keep up with your
Okay.
tempo.
I'm gonna end this stream so that we have 2 segmented streams. I switch to AK after this. Shouldn't take me long. I guess just give me 5 minutes and we'll be back. So Twitch, if you want to sit here, you can. YouTube, you can't sit here because it will be a different stream. So wait for the stream notification or something, and we shall watch that together. Okay? See you guys. Bye bye.